All right, we're live. What's up, everybody?
Hi.
I think we need to start off the stream with a collective scream of, "Oh my fucking god! Did that really just fucking happen? Did that really happen?"
I wore my first ever Boba Fett shirt in honor.
Your first?
My first Boba Fett shirt that I ever bought. I bought it after I played Jedi Academy.
Oh, sweet.
Nikki just bought her first Boba Fett shirt.
Exactly. I'm like, you've been doing this for how long?
I just got my new Bo-Katan shirt, so that's what I was wearing. I should have planned better, but
I get shit about being late to the game when I didn't even know what a Mandalorian was until like 5 years ago.
So actually, do you want to know how I got into Mandalorians? Was role-playing on the Star Wars roleplay forum.
I got into them from role-playing on SWTOR, so that's what happens. Oh, Joe's here, but he's muted, so if you exist, Joe, there you are.
Don't tell him he's
here.
muted.
Stuffing my face.
What's up there, guy?
So I'm only unmuting when I'm talking, and I'm driving also.
Oh.
So as soon as I get parked on the job site and get settled in, I'll go to video.
All good, man. It's a special quarantine edition for me since I am now homebound for the next 2 weeks, so I get to drink.
Dude.
Lucky. I mean, I'm going to work tomorrow and I'm still drinking. So
You're better than
I should
me.
get some
I
cider
can't
and,
function anymore. I'm too old.
You know,
Live
I'm
it
gonna
up.
drink. I'll be right back.
So I'm gonna
Let's
go.
go and
I'm
get a juice
gonna
pump.
go with the beginning though, where it was all real cute in the very beginning of the episode, where he's like, "Oh, Grogu," and he's laughing, and I'm like, my heart is so full.
that was my favorite Baby Yoda. Like
You know,
so far this season.
It was really cute, and then it does the thing, and it's like the tragedy, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, that was
They're not gonna kill Baby Yoda, right?
yeah.
We don't know this.
I mean, because we don't know. There's no confirmation that he is alive later. I seriously doubt they'll kill him, but I mean, they would become the most hated people on the planet if they killed Baby Yoda.
I mean,
Grogu.
They're going
already
like a Game of Thrones kind of thing and just axing all the main characters, you know?
I mean,
You have to subvert your expectations.
there's big odds that Boba and Bo don't make it out of this.
Yeah.
So
I've been kicking that around in my head.
Mhm.
That or
Like, even if Boba does die in the show or this season, I still feel like it'll be worth it to have Boba go out not a bitch.
yes, absolutely.
With a literal bang, though. That would be nice.
Man, when Slave One rolled up, and I'm like, oh no, because like the whole time I've been joking that there's no way Slave One's still around. I'm like, the Jawas had that shit up on blocks like within seconds of.
Yeah, I figured it was gone.
Yeah, like, because if he had Slave One this whole time, like, what the fuck was he doing?
He
Not being on
wasn't
Tatooine.
on Tatooine.
what did he have to do?
He wasn't on Tatooine,
How
but
many times
where?
have we done this?
But
He
where?
wasn't on Tatooine for 5 years.
Are you sure? I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it took him 5 years to recover from being partially digested by, like, the toothy vagina.
Or maybe
I mean, I would take 5 years to recover from that.
me and Joe's theory is that he was off Tatooine and heard that there was a dude in Mandalorian armor hanging around Mos Eisley when Din was on Tatooine last
So
season.
he came back. Yeah.
So he came back looking for his
So
He heard that Din was on, like, the first time when he went with Solo Wannabe.
Yeah, because remember, he picked up Fennec.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's Solo wannabe. That guy was awful.
He's sitting in his
Absolutely
spot.
awful.
Oh, what's it? Oh my god, yeah. He was pretty bad.
He was
I don't
awful
know.
on
I think it
like
might be.
social media after too, I think.
You know what's funny though? The Tusken Raiders in the first episode of season 2 still had the same binoculars.
You're sideways,
That-
Joe.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
noticed that.
Yeah.
from season 1. So
it's the same group.
I mean,
yeah,
But
really the same thing. I
okay,
was gonna say,
so
kinda-
this brings up another question then. So clearly Din's been around Tatooine a lot, enough to know how to talk to Tuskens and do their language
true.
and their customs, right? So
Mhm.
would this have been the first time that Boba came back because he heard something like, or when was Din there? How does Din not know who Boba Fett is?
That's a good question.
It's a big universe.
But he's one of the most famous bounty hunters in the galaxy.
Especially on Tatooine.
well, maybe the cult he was part of kind of like turned their noses up to the idea of the Fett's being Mandalorian. I mean, when Almec said, he
To
was
be
nothing
fair-
more than a common bounty hunter, he kind of had like a snootiness to him,
Well,
you know?
sure. I mean, because Almec
He
was
Death
part
Watch.
of Death Watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Death
No, he
Watch
wasn't-
had like
no, Almec wasn't part of Death Watch. He was
he
corrupt.
He was
only
a
No,
new
he
man.
was. He was working with them, so he's Death Watch. That's how it
yeah,
works.
yeah.
I
And
think he was
Death
just a
Watch's
corrupt- I don't think he was
enemies.
with-
His
I don't
first.
think
So,
he got.
so
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
I don't think he was involved with Death Watch until they sprung him. After Maul sprung him, he was just a corrupt politician trying to make a buck during the shortage
Nah, he
of
was
supplies.
in league with Pre Vizsla, man. He was
No,
like,
yeah,
he was,
that's
pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how they got the poison in those, like,
No,
children's-
because it wasn't poison. It was cheap materials. It was like if you don't process it right, then it wasn't
was poison.
intentional poisoning. It
It was
was
poison.
you cheaped out on a product. I will look it up.
People
Well,
drank-
but here's
people
the-
drank-
here's the whole thing.
Though.
Yeah. But so he was tied to them, and who was Death Watch's first enemies before the pacifists? Well, Jaster Muriel, who is canon again.
does this retroactively make open seasons canon?
Not
don't think so.
No.
specifically.
Yeah, I think they're gonna keep cherry picking out of it.
Yeah.
I still,
They
still
mentioned
think
they
it's so
mentioned
open,
Jasper,
like, right
but we
now,
know
like,
Jasper's real.
We know
haven't
that
got,
it's
like,
real.
a
We know that
picture name
Jasper's
drop,
bad.
though. You just saw
For Jasper?
Jasper Real
We saw
written
Mentor
on-
Jasper. So
on his chain code.
Yeah.
No one's actually said Jasper Morelia, I mean, it's one of those things where
They could
super
change
nerds
his
like us
name.
do. Mhm.
It could be like the Fen Rao, Fen Shiza situation too, where they just keep the same first name.
Ben
Change.
Scheisse?
Yeah, that's the guy from what's his face from
Shisa?
Shiza. I don't know,
Are you
Shisha.
sure?
I like the way you say it. I say it
Shisa.
Shisa. but I like the way
I
you
say Shaisa. I always say Shaisa.
Shisa
It's
is
probably
shit,
Shisa.
It's probably Shiza.
You guys
Shiza sounds
know.
too much like something.
Yeah,
else.
that's what
it's
I'm
the
thinking. I'm
German
like,
word for shit.
Yeah, that was the joke.
Well,
That's what made me double check.
I missed it.
well, I don't know. Now I know that, so I won't say that again. But yeah, so they probably could have kept the first name and changed the last name.
Even if Din,
Yeah, they might have.
going back a little here, even if Din knew who Boba Fett was, there's no reason for Din to know that Boba Fett is alive, just like probably most of the galaxy doesn't think he's alive.
It's true, but she
And
said
he's
his name.
Probably never
That's
seen him
very
without a helmet.
I mean, yeah, how many people know that Boba Fett is actually flown? Probably not that many.
Or just know what he looks
That
like.
brings up, why did Boba always say, "This is my face"? Was he a member of the Children of the Watch?
Again,
No, he probably just
not
didn't give a
canon.
shit.
No, I have a theory as to why that's true, because he was a clone, and there was a billion other dudes with his same face. So what
No,
made him...
because he didn't wear a helmet, because we know now in the current canon that he really didn't wear a helmet until later on, like,
Well, sure.
like
when he was
19
older, right? But that's with the clones with the accelerated aging. Most of them didn't look like him right away, right? Like, so as he aged slower. So but once he became like an adult, all the clones look like him. So to be like individual, that was his face. That's what set him apart.
Well, also by the time that he was that age, they had gotten. I mean, think about this: Boba would have probably been would have looked as old as Rex by the time that Rex was like old man Rex.
Well, yeah, but they were still. I mean, there were different phases. Remember when he infiltrated? He had a bunch of clones that were his age at that point, right?
Right.
Back in Clone Wars.
And
so
that
like
was,
there
I
were
think,
phases.
that
of
was
them.
during Phase 1 armor, so that was 3 years before
But yeah, but Rex
episode
was
3.
already an adult then, so there were still younger
Correct.
clones
He
out
was-
there.
Yes.
Well, yeah, they were making more.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah,
But you
that
gotta
could've
wonder
been it.
at what point we know that. I think it was 15 years after episode 3, so 4 years before episode 1 during Rebels. We know that the stormtroopers had already replaced the clones.
Yeah, for the
Yeah,
most
So
part.
they may have been there may have been clones his age, but they probably were not in service, or were being phased out, or had already been phased out.
No. I hopefully we'll find out. I've got so many more fucking questions now. If he wasn't on Tatooine, what the fuck was he doing?
Every episode is bringing up more questions.
I feel like the mini-series that he's gonna have is gonna
Explain
answer
all that. Yeah.
of those questions.
And if he knew that Cobb Vanth was the one with his fucking armor, or did he find that out after the fact? Like, how did he know?
I think they found that out
I
after.
don't know. I feel like Boba's a pretty understandable kind of person, and maybe he saw what Cobb Vanth did with Mos Pelgo and was like, let him keep it for right now. And then when the time comes up,
No way.
Because as soon as he met Mando,
That's
he's like,
that's
give
his
it back.
father's armor. That's his heritage.
Yeah,
He would not just let some
It's hidden.
fucking
It's hidden.
armor.
And like I said,
This
as
is
soon
why-
as he showed up on Tython, he's like, "That's mine. Give it to me."
This is
Yeah.
why he had to have left Tatooine. This is why. He did not hang around Tatooine for 5 years and not go get his armor. He found out.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Joe.
He
Yeah.
found
I
out-
think he was
just
off world.
like Din found out from that guy at the fighting pits, hey, there might be a Mandalorian on Tatooine. Like we heard some dudes in Mando armor. Boba Fett found out the same thing from someone else around the same time and went back looking. And when he went back looking, there's Din riding away with his armor. Like,
He didn't find out from the guy that didn't strung up.
No. But it could have been somebody else around. Who knows, man?
No, I'm just saying, that dude was
thought.
And Boba's armor was sitting inside of that sandcrawler for probably 5 years.
Yeah, I wonder how long Cobb had
probably-
it.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh wait,
question.
no, wait. He
No,
said he got it
it was
like
right
right after.
after. It was
he got
Yeah.
it shortly
couple of
after the
days
fall of the
after.
Empire.
Yeah.
Shortly
It
after
was
the
a
fall of the
couple days
Empire.
after.
So it wasn't in the sandcrawler that long. It looks like
No, it was probably for a day or two.
Before the battle
Boba
of
probably
Jakku.
wasn't in there that long. Boba probably got out pretty
No.
fast.
So Cobb was probably using that armor for about 6 years.
Deep thoughts.
But he was in a place that they thought had
vanished.
just gone.
Yeah. Though you'd have to think that if any of those Miners Guild dudes escaped,
Which none did.
I thought, he blew them up. You're right.
Oh, he blew them up.
You're right. The
And-
best
and
use
you'll
of
note-
all these jetpack rockets of all time.
Well, you'll note that he didn't have the Z6 rockets. He had just some off-the-shelf ones. But when Boba got his jetpack back, he had the actual rockets that he used.
Where did he get that
Means
from?
he got
Did
it
he
from
have
Phase
it?
1.
Probably from his
Oh,
ship.
did
He
he
went
have
back
it in
to
his
the ship.
pockets? Like, did he put them in his pockets before he went out? He's like, just in
That's
case.
what those rocket pockets are for.
Man, the knee rockets, the wrist rockets, he used all the fucking rockets. He had
You
every
never seen
rocket.
throwables? You're like, well,
So that's what knee darts
a
do.
wrench.
Yeah, that's what knee darts do.
They're technically darts.
I was just like, this dude's a fucking arsenal. So, this is
Oh, we knew
badass.
that.
It was so
I
badass.
loved how they showed every little tool that he had. Whether it was on his gauntlets or the darts, the flamethrower punch thing.
Well, that's
where
how you
he
know
The
walked in with
knees.
the
I appreciated them not letting him use the flamethrower because he just threw that armor back on and Cobb Vanth. We have no idea what kind of fuel supply he would have, and so that's why he didn't use the flamethrower.
Yeah.
That's my take on
Well,
that.
immediately you saw his proficiency. You saw the difference between Vance just using it for protection and Boba knowing that armor through and through,
Mhm.
being
And
like
it did a
utilizing it
really
the
good
best
job
way.
of showing that. Vanth was just wearing it. Boba knows it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Even the way they stand and everything, I saw the side-by-side comparisons. It was like, yeah, Vanth looks like a dude cosplaying in Boba's armor. And
Oh my
Boba
God,
is wearing
I
the
kept
armor
saying-
and he looks like him.
He looks
'Cause
like every person I
He
see on
still looks
Facebook
hot.
who has made their Mando but has not heard of the Mercs. Like they show up
It's
just on Facebook. They're like, "Oh yeah, I did this." especially with the freaking like long ass waist, like the long ass waist and the big scarf. Just like I looked at it, I was like,
But you don't
it's
like
hard to
it?
look at.
I like it.
I mean, when it was on Cobb, like I had to
Oh,
watch
not.
it again.
Oh, you mean Cobb? Oh, no. I'm talking about
Cobb,
the
yeah.
Fett's new undersuit. I mean, and we know he's gonna change it
Well,
out, but
Well, like I said, I had a guy who messaged me and was like, "So are they going to make those allowable in the Mercs now?" And I'm like, "No, it
They
was meant to
should.
look half-assed."
Nah, it was
Yeah.
cool. I liked it. I'm gonna be the dissenting opinion here.
I
Wear
like
the armor
Boba's
that makes
setup.
you happy.
Yes, I like Boba's setup. Though, if you're in
Well,
Florida
his-
and you want to
his
wear
armor
it,
is not post-imperial, so keep that in mind. It wouldn't be under the post-imperial CRLs.
that's true.
And you can't wear a cloak like that because you
Just
need
make a new
Cobb.
Boba CRL. This isn't hard. Just
That's
make a
true.
new
They
Boba
are
CRL.
gonna make a new Boba's
It doesn't
CRL.
apply to customs.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, I still love, and it proved to the point of the post-imperial armor being used for the show, when the first shot of Boba coming down, his left chest plate's
Oh, it's
almost
popping
off,
up.
and I'm
I
like,
know.
Yep.
Yep.
I
we were
felt
all
that in my
looking at that
soul.
like,
One shot it's popped up, the next shot it's not. I noticed that.
Yeah.
That's
Did
why
you
they
guys
went
see
to
that?
One
Like,
Piece
there
now.
are
One Piece is now.
there are production personnel specifically there to check for continuity, and I'm just like, I wish I had that job. You're supposed to check for continuity between shots. I would have been right there going, nope, got to do it again. It was awesome, but we got to fix that.
They're saying Dad bod Boba, but you know what? When I saw like the cutout they released today and everything, he isn't really heavy. Like he's bulky.
I think it was just.
But I think it was
that
the-
was just his
the robe and
everything
everything.
else.
Yeah, no, I don't
and
think.
the way he was standing.
Yeah, because
He's in
he
better
just
shape
looks
than I am,
thick,
like-
man. He's beefy now.
Well, keep in mind, some of that thickness is the layers of clothing.
Right. Absolutely.
I think it's mostly the robe because Tamara
Yeah.
Morrison is not a heavy set dude.
Never had.
No, but he's heavier now. I mean, if that was the last thing I saw.
He
It was
was
probably
skinny when he
Aquaman.
was Django.
That.
I just
Yeah.
watched the behind the scenes thing when he was Django. Like someone posted on Twitter like the behind the scenes thing that he did when during Attack of the Clones. He's real skinny.
I mean,
Real
the,
skinny.
when
Well,
I
also,
did the
that
picture
was
with
20
him.
years younger.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he was so much younger.
He was almost 20 years younger.
When was
I'm
Celebration?
Googling.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what we did. I did the picture with all the fets, and he was thicker then. He wasn't heavy though, but he's just thick.
Naturally, you will. Naturally, as you get older, that it's.
You
gonna
get
happen.
thicker. That's how
I
it
mean,
works.
it's
He's
Naturally,
45,
you
isn't
just
he?
pick it up like a
Oh,
nice
he's
soup.
He looked like he had some age on him when he was. I'm gonna look it up. Hang on.
He's 45, I think.
60 right. No, he's like 60
Someone
now.
on Twitter,
10?
someone on Twitter was like,
He's
"How
60.
come the armor now doesn't fit him like it did in Return of the Jedi?" And I was like, "How?"
He will be
stupid is that?
60. He will be 60 the day after Christmas.
It's not the same person, you idiot.
He will be, he will be 60 years old the day after Christmas.
Oh. But you know, it was really funny because I was reading all these different Reddits where people are like, man, Boba had so many of Django's mannerisms and everything. It was crazy. And then people are like, it's the same actor.
It's the same dude.
Because people are probably still thinking of Daniel Logan and everything else.
Well, then, I mean,
from,
they're-
like, the Clone Wars and everything.
I don't think they're
I don't
thinking of
know
Daniel
yet.
Logan. They're just thinking of the original trilogy. Never mind, like,
That too.
it's just cognitive dissonance. They haven't seen
But-
the prequels in so long. They've
The
forgotten
lovely-
all about Django.
Probably Jeremy Bullock.
I would like to spend time going back to my favorite shit theory.
Yes.
Mace Windu is gonna show up.
No!
Show up, and Boba Fett's gonna see him, and we're gonna get a Mace and Boba showdown.
That's not gonna happen.
That would be
I
the
want
one
it to
reason.
happen.
It will. There's no way it's gonna happen.
All right, but
It's not happening.
And
Oh.
the fact that we're
Don't
entertaining
say
this,
no way, man.
I will write
Don't
that
say no
fanfic.
way.
all right. So
No,
I
if you say there's no way it happens, and then we're coming on this thing the week that it happens, and we're just gonna
I'm
laugh
going
at
to
you.
lose my shit.
don't think it's gonna happen in this show. I think if
If
Mace
you honestly think it's
survives,
gonna happen, you would believe it.
if Mace
We'll say
survives,
that for the miniseries.
there's no body. No. I think he could be in the Obi-Wan
That's the
show.
thing that I
though.
hate. Just like show me a corpse. That's become the new
Obi-Wan.
thing with
If he
It's
goes,
become like the Superman way of doing things, where as long as you don't see him, he comes back in some stupid
but
way.
even if you do
That's
see them, they
kind of
come
how
back.
Star Wars has worked
That's
forever.
the
though.
Filoni way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my thing is, they're like, oh, Darth Maul was the same way. Yeah, but Darth Maul had EU material saying that he survived, and they just adapted that. To my
Everything.
knowledge, there was no.
We saw
Yeah.
a body though.
Movies
Darth
is you.
Maul.
But alright, so what if he comes up? So listen, if Mace Windu survived, there's no way in hell dude did not get involved in the rebellion and murdering some motherfuckers, right? He, if anything, he shows up in Obi-Wan series, which is partially on Tatooine, right? Boba is on Tatooine a lot of the time working for Jabba, so Mace and Boba could have ran into each other then in that show.
Mace Windu loses his memory, has to become Mace Windu again, and becomes Darth Revan.
No, what? What? What?
Get out of here.
What? That's terrible.
You can tell who the writer in the group is.
You become you get Knights of the Old Republic, except instead of Revan, it's Mace Windu. He's already got the purple lightsaber. He's already got the light side dark side thing going on.
He becomes the new father on Mortis. He takes the place of the father. He balances the force. He goes
This
through the
is-
chalk zone.
I mean, at this point, let's just make the problem more.
Why are we talking about the chalk zone
Because it
yet?
makes you upset.
Nick, you joke about Jar Jar, but you wait, my friend. You wait.
He's disgraced right now.
Jar Jar can
Jar
show
Jar was
up.
in the same story as Cobb Vanth, right? Or the
Yeah,
same
he's
book?
one- Yeah, he's
Yeah.
one of the interludes in those dumb books.
He was a sad clown, right? Like he became
Yeah,
a
he was
sad hobo.
disgraced.
Yep.
He's like
Actually,
a hobo
it's really
clown.
It is.
upsetting.
It's very sad.
It's not gonna be Jar Jar, but
Jar Jar deserves better.
it's
He
gonna
does.
be a thing.
He
I'm telling you.
Like, I believe
He's
in
not going to get
Jar
it on
Jar.
the show.
No,
He's not-
he'll be like a cameo. He'll
When,
be a
when
cameo.
Mando goes into Naboo in season 3, I'm telling you.
Why
you
would
heard
he
it
go
here
to
first.
Naboo though?
If he, unless he goes to Naboo for some convoluted reason, we're not seeing him.
Would Jar Jar even be on Naboo?
Foreign power to see Mace.
Jar Jar is on Naboo last we see him.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't want to go back there
He-
if I was Jar Jar. That would be really bad.
Well, I mean,
Do you
we're
think
also-
he's the
Sad
one-
street clown
Do you think
who
he's
has
the
been
one in the
blamed for the
special
fall of the
special
Republic.
edition who said Rita free?
no, those were other Gungans. Don't be racist.
It really is. But
All right.
Palpatine played it like that, though, you know?
Well, all right. So we have to figure out
Trying
though.
to rate us in.
We have to figure out though. So little Grogu meditating on the little seeing stone, which is so fucking cute, by the way. We're sitting there like with the thing, so like, oh, it's so cute.
I am mad at Mando for trying 3 times. Like,
He almost got through
That's the
one
most
time.
parent thing
He
ever.
tries.
That's the most parent thing ever. Whatever it takes, that's what you do. That's the most
Yep,
parent thing ever.
It is.
Mhm.
It is.
He is starting to have parent energy rather than stepdad energy.
no,
Oh,
like,
More
okay,
than Mando.
go get the jetpack, fly down. Like,
Oh no. Jeff
He wasn't
Bezos-
thinking.
no,
Yeah, he
no.
was.
No,
It went.
no,
Get above that. Did you see how high that reaches? How do you get above that?
But
You
In
have
a
to orbital
jetpack.
drop.
he
have
almost
to
made it
orbital drop.
through though. Like he reached. He almost got him. Like he was so.
All
like,
I can see is that fisherman going, "Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that."
He did though. He did almost have it. So I
Like,
don't know.
don't talk to me about parent energy whenever he didn't even stay.
Well, he thought that they would have to get past him to get up the ridge. He didn't know that these motherfucking dark troopers had legs with jetpacks in them. Some Iron
Well,
Man
you know
shit.
what?
Iron Man.
Really,
How they
the
look.
second Din left, shield went down, and we were all just like, "Yep, he's gone."
Oh, I knew. I mean,
Like,
I said
that's such a-
last
the
week.
episode called The Tragedy.
Yeah, but the
Yeah, I know.
tragedy was the explosion of the fucking Razor
Oh.
Crest.
How did it start before that? What was it like? We were all laughing.
We hardly
Throw out
knew
the Razor
the.
Crest.
I love like as soon as the ship got put back together, we're like, "Awesome, we're good to."
See, all right,
If
so
you paid $500 for a Hasbro Razor Crest like 30,000 other people last month, I feel bad for you.
I would still love that. It was still such a great fucking ship, though. I fucking love that
Yeah.
ship. It
I
was so.
It's like a minivan.
It was amazing.
It's like a
though.
minivan for space.
It had it, but it could do like anything. Like it was
No,
quick.
I'm not crushing on it for that. I
No,
feel
that
like
was an 80s. That was a 1980s shaggin' wagon. That was a 70s shaggin'
I
wagon.
will say,
Let's give him a
some of
lot.
the worst, like moments
Modify it.
in season 2 have been when the Razor Crest has been like flying away from the X-wings or shooting down the TIE fighters. Like just the shots in it are just incredible.
I know. It was just such a.
It's gonna be very much. It reminds me a lot of Star Wars Bounty Hunter, where he went from like this ship that meant a lot to him because of the Mandalorians, and then got Slave One because of some shit like that.
I read somewhere.
He's obviously not going to get Slave One, but he's going to get a much. More
I heard they
upgraded
might
ship.
go towards like what Slave 2 was. You remember Slave 2? I heard that
Yeah.
thing
Never
floating
got.
around.
I'm looking it up.
It was
That's
a
what it
Mandal.
was
It was a
somebody.
Mandal motor ship.
I bet it looks.
It was a
Uh,
patrol
Mando-
craft. So I'll still be sad though.
Oh, that's
What
not
if he
too
does
bad.
get Slave One though?
He won't.
Yeah, I mean if Boba dies, he could
won't.
get Slave 1.
Slave 2 looks
Yeah.
extremely. No.
That would be.
It can probably be rebuilt from all the parts it flew off of in
To
between
be fair,
planets.
if
Yeah.
they rebuilt, I keep
Yeah.
thinking of the Milano from Guardians of the Galaxy,
Great
where the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, after it crashed into Ronan's ship, that ship crashed, and they're like, we reassembled the whole thing. It's like new. It's
There's
like,
nothing left of the Razor Crest to reassemble.
well, yeah.
It's like
they made sure to
it's-
show that as it vaporized, as you saw that wall of fire destroy it. They're like, it's not happening. That's Dave Filoni going, it's not happening.
That like his face. I was joking like when I saw Din like staring, and I'm like, I don't need to see his face to know what face he's making because it's the face that I was making. I was like, no, man.
The emotion that they get in armor is so. It's gorgeous.
It is.
What was,
look like you
yeah,
saw a
that
ghost.
was that. Yeah, you look like you just saw a ghost.
He's got a helmet on.
But you know what? Like, she probably should have said you sound
It
like.
still works.
Yeah, it
Only-
works.
It's always funny when we break it down. It still works.
It did work.
You sound like you saw a ghost. He didn't say a word. It would have had the same effect.
Well, he heard. Yeah. Well,
Like,
I
that, like
He's
the hold on.
announcing that she's distributing like non-facial cues.
yeah. I mean, and all of us know
He also knows.
as
He
man-
also knows Tuscan sign language.
Yep.
It's all about those nonverbal.
And as all of us know, as Mando costumers, like you have to move very deliberately and like kind of more exaggerated and slower sometimes.
You have to accentuate your other movements. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. How you carry yourself makes a big difference.
But I think that's what makes him pretty expressive. So it works. It really works.
And the best performances are always like shortly after they put the costumes on, because you're going to see really big performances after they've been in the costume for 5 hours. Ask anyone in Troops.
yeah.
All of a sudden they start slumping and like stuff's just dragging on the ground. And
Except for the Heat Troop where we ended up on ESPN. That shit was gold.
I could have done that for 20 hours.
I know.
I wore a decent amount of my stuff to work for like 5 hours working in that kitchen and driving around. That was
Being in a kitchen
That
and
was
kit is
something else.
not. That's bad. I couldn't do that. All right. Well, all right. So he's gonna have to get a new ship. He's a passenger on Slave One now. So I have another question, and it kind of like it's like
Is he
tearing me.
paying fair?
It's tearing me apart inside. Has Boba really turned an honorable new leaf? Like, is he legit, or does he have ulterior motives?
I mean, that's what they alluded to with. I think he's always been like that. That's what they alluded to in the Clone Wars. Was that, especially, I mean, even down to him, which is no longer canon, finishing off Cad Bane. Like, his character's always been shown to be that.
I think so.
I will say, I think he's good to his word, which is what
Yes.
he's always been. And his word
Absolutely.
was, "This is what I'm going to
This is
do
what
in
the
order to get
agreement
my
was.
honor
The
back."
child
So he's going to
saved.
be good to that. The surprising line to me was how shocked / concerned he seemed about the Empire still being around.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
last we knew, Boba was working for him. You know.
part timer.
I feel like his reaction should be like, "Motherfuckers owe me money."
I mean, maybe he aligned
He got
himself
paid.
with Vader because he knew, like if
Well,
these guys
because
are gonna
they
be in
paid.
charge, I'm gonna be working for the baddest motherfucker around, right?
It's
But-
because they
But-
paid for it. It's not like it's my character.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just because they all thought they were gone, and here they are with this fucking cruiser overhead. Like, what
it's
the
like,
fuck
holy
is?
shit.
Where did they come from? You know, like we thought they were all fucking gone, basically, right? At
And
least,
why didn't Din say, hey, just a heads up, you're flying towards an light cruiser? Because we saw that he saw it.
because he was having parent energy happening.
His baby was taken by
Yeah,
robot.
no, like
And his car was
I thought you were
gone.
gonna
Like, you
I
be a
thought you were
parent in the
talking
middle
about
of
shit for
a
second.
mall, Nick, and you try doing that.
yeah, no,
My
like
mother did
you're
that.
just
With
sitting
me,
there
no,
with
with
like
me, my
5,000
brother.
calculations going through your head, like what the fuck, right?
And
like,
one of them might want to be, hey, savior who's going to get my kid, let's ensure the best survival odds. Don't
Wow.
get blown up.
The Nazis just took your kid and blew up your car in the parking lot.
yeah.
That's what just happened. Okay?
It's not even just your car though. It's like your
It's your
RV.
trailer.
It's your
They
RV.
blew
You
up
live in
They
it,
blew up your
Yes.
shaggin' wagon.
Your RV. That's better.
and now you're relying on these people you just one of them you nearly killed, and the other one like you just met, right? So like, and now they have to take
No,
you places.
He didn't
Like
almost kill him.
no, not her. No, Fennec.
No, Fennec wasn't killed by Din.
No, but he went after her is what I mean. Like that was the last
he never-
interaction they
he
had. Was he was on against
He
her,
had every
right?
intention to keep her alive, though.
Sure.
It wasn't like.
Well, that's
there
why
was no
I
hard
don't think he
feelings
tried
about
to
that.
like just but still.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah.
But
That's-
still,
yeah.
like now I'm
Infinite
reliant
G
on
knows
these
what
people.
I'm talking about. Infinite G knows it's a '70s shaggin' wagon van.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Razor Crest is. It's still got a little bit of boogie in it, but
VW
it
van?
looks kind of sleazy.
It was beautiful. It was such a beautiful ship. I don't care what you say. Fucking love
Oh, I
that
really
ship.
like that.
Double cross them.
You think
That
they're gonna
sounds
double
good.
cross them?
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
The guild's got rules. The guild's got rules.
I don't see why they
possibility,
would.
but-
There's nothing they really gain.
yeah.
That
No.
would be. I guess that's the question. What would they gain?
If the situation gets too like extreme, like, do you think she'll be like, "All right, I'm out," and just leave?
No, because she's
Not
indebted
if Boba does. Not
Yeah, I
if
think
Boba
she's,
does, rather.
she's in debt to Boba now.
for the fact that she's still alive.
And they probably
And
have
she's
some
indebted
history
for getting
too.
back his heritage.
They have some
Her
history.
costume is phenomenal. Her costume is
It
fantastic.
was
Oh my
gorgeous.
God.
Yes, man.
And that shot of her like jumping backwards with the gun is.
It was so. I mean, the costumes for all the women in this show just.
I gotta look at it again.
Oh,
Better than the guys.
listen, we've
They are.
earned it. We've waited a long time for this.
We've had enough. We get enough of that.
We've waited a long time. But, man.
We get enough fan service. We don't need that.
Well,
Meanwhile,
Let the ladies have one.
they're like, here, actually,
Let the
actually,
ladies
here's
have
our
enough
scraps
to
for
make up
last
for
season.
more than enough to make up for for all the shit they.
nobody's bought me my rifle yet.
That's a nice.
But
That is a nice outfit.
someone needs to buy it for me because it's as big as I am, basically. At some point, I need
What
it.
the
The Hasbro Pulse rifle. It's 50 and a half inches long.
You want to feel what that's like? Ask Ginger if you could borrow her Woodchuck DC 15, the long rifle.
No, I'm sure
That's
it'd be
what
like
it-
carrying around a staff. Like it's gonna be bigger than me. That's
Oh,
why.
it's huge. I'm like Ginger of all people carrying that around.
It doesn't come out till October 2021 though, so it's got a minute. So I wouldn't have
You
it in my
plenty of
hands
time
anytime
to not
soon.
only save for it, but
That
just
sucks.
spending $120 on that Nerf
All
gun.
right, borrow Peter the pulse rifle too. That shit got destroyed when the race.
Oh, I
gone,
know,
bro.
I know.
We
It's
don't
so
know.
sad.
Oh,
You and it's
no.
gone.
I wish
Yeah,
when
it's
he was
gone.
like, kicking through the dust, I wish he would have picked up the prongs of it or something
Oh,
Well,
like
I
that.
thought that's what he picked up, like
Form.
parts of it. That was the one thing he picked up from the ship before he found the
What's
little
that?
knob. I thought that's what it was, the pieces of the rifle, but I don't know for sure. Man,
That
Yeah,
sucks.
he lost every. I mean, the most important things he has.
That's like getting your house blown up by a creeper in Minecraft. You're just like, I lost all this shit. It's just like I have to start all. No, I'm kidding.
And now we know the Dark Troopers for sure are the droid version because we were kind of like we didn't know for sure.
I thought they looked good.
That was-
Yeah, they look good.
They're
I-
phase
I-
2.
They're
They
phase
look pretty
2.
like Iron Man-y.
Yeah, but I mean
But-
it's Jon Favreau, right? So
Yeah.
They nailed it.
But so I had a thought. I was like, what if he made them out of Beskar? But then, can he without having a Mando Smith to do it?
He's on Mandalore.
Yeah, I know, but unless you think any Mandalorian Smith would do that, like
We
for
I don't know. They're not all.
They were traitors to the Mandalorians.
That's true. I mean, there were all
Oh,
those
that's
Clan
right. They had
Saxon.
the Imperial Super Commandos, yeah. And
He could
that
have
armor
forced
that they
one to
wear,
do it as well.
that armor that they wore, the Imperial Super Commando armor was Beskar.
Yeah, except for the last one, and then he
Well,
paid
that
for
was
it later. Yeah, the
that
last
was- he had
Saxon.
Stormtrooper
Yeah,
armor.
right.
But the actual
was
captain
Beskar. Yeah.
had Beskar, yeah.
So that was my thought. I was like, how do we make the fucking Dark Troopers like an actual legit enemy? Make them out of fucking Beskar, because a lightsaber isn't gonna take them down. Blaster rifles aren't gonna take them down. So
I brought this
Or
up
they can, but they're just really hard to kill. I mean, think about the BX Commando droids. Like those didn't go down in one hit. Like you had to light
even
into.
super battle droids. Someone said super
Yep.
battle droids.
Yeah.
they had a shield. They had those
Not
shields.
the same though.
They just had a lot of heavy armor.
Those nightmares.
You gotta wonder how tall those things are, though. Like those things are probably it's maybe taller than super battle droids. Because I mean, we saw the size of those when they were gunning down civilians, and it makes me realize if I want to do my robot, that might not work.
No, that's really fucking. They're huge. They're giant.
Yeah, damn it.
They have to be like 7 feet tall at least.
Yeah, I mean, well, consider the fact how tall Christopher Lee was, and they were taller than him.
He was very tall.
And
He was
all
very
the
tall.
bads are over 6 feet. We know that.
So do we think that if Gideon's taken down before the end of the season, that he comes back as a Phase 3 cyborg Dark Trooper?
Yeah.
Nah.
No,
I don't
you don't think
consider
so?
that.
It could
Oh, I
happen.
think they would. Or we're just not going to see a final confrontation with Gideon. We're going to get maybe another season or two. Then there'll be a final confrontation on Mandalore.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he's the big bad on Mandalore.
Doc Geo mentioned that apparently in Dark Forces, when they first show up, it takes a lot to kill them.
Yeah. Man, I
So
haven't
it's
played that game in a
just-
billion years.
I only played Jedi
actually,
Academy, and I didn't play through a lot of it.
Yeah, I actually have a mod for Jedi Academy for Dark Forces, and it's like the first levels up until the first fight with Phase 1.
Nice.
My cousin made me download. What the fuck's the show called? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. It's some
Well,
weak shit.
So, I was convinced that the baby would have been kidnapped in the
Jojo.
finale. So I was wrong. We're getting that confrontation a lot sooner. And we know next time next episode, it's Rick's
He's assembling the team.
episode. He's directing, I'm pretty sure, because they're bringing back fucking... they're bringing back Mayfield.
Oh yeah, I love that. I'm stoked.
We're bringing him back to die.
Well, sure,
My
he's
brother-
definitely gonna die. But
My brother
basically-
was so happy. I mean, my brother was so surprised because he hadn't watched. He hasn't watched past episode 4 up until a couple days ago when I showed him 5 and 6. He doesn't really care as much as we do. And that's fine. But so when he watched, he knew that Bill Burr was in the episode, but he didn't know what he looked like. So he's like expecting to look like maybe an alien or something or a background character. He's like, it's just Bill Burr. It's just Bill
It is.
Burr.
He's a
It's
space
great.
Bostonian.
Yeah.
The only Star Wars character with a Boston accent.
Things I
Yeah,
didn't
and that's what he said.
Alex. Space Boston.
Whatever. I appreciated it. It was funny.
Isn't
Oh,
that just
the
Narshada?
stormtrooper
Right.
wise ass. I fucking
Isn't
love that.
Narshada just Space Boston, or is it Chicago?
No, Narshada's Space Vegas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely
Really?
space.
Oh yeah,
Vegas?
it's Space Vegas for sure.
Or is it
Neon
Space
and-
Atlantic City?
Nah,
No, it's Vegas.
it's Vegas.
Or it's Reno. It could be Reno.
It's Vegas.
Or would be
You can't
Cancer
go-
White then.
Oh, so they're filming seasons 3 and 4 back to back? Legit.
I don't know. I don't have anything to confirm that, so I don't know.
Well,
I don't think we're gonna know because of COVID. It's really. They were planning to be already in production for season 3, but that has not happened yet.
yeah, I think they said they're gonna probably wait until after.
They probably have everything set to go as far as pre-production, stories, directors, all that. But
They can't wait until
as far
after.
as shooting and production, I don't think
There's
they're
no definite end.
Kenobi and Caspian just started, so
Yeah. But of course,
They're
they're
finding
filming in
ways.
England, and it's better. They're better off over there right now than. Well, Not too much better,
Sure.
but they're still better than we are.
Kenobi's filming in Boston. They
No,
just said
it's
Kenobi's
filming
Boston.
in Boston, England. It's not.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, yes. Yes.
So that's a misleading headline. People saying that they're filming in Boston?
No, they're Boston,
What the hell?
England. It's filming all in England. It's Boston, England. I was laughing too because I didn't even know there was a Boston, England, but
Somebody
there is.
moved me.
Boston, Lincolnshire. 100
That's like
miles
somebody
north of
finding
London.
out, oh, there's an Old York?
Well, that's the thing is, like, why isn't it New Boston? Like everything else.
Because
Boston's
as somebody who
because it
used
is.
to live in Boston, it's got an ego over there. Okay.
We're
Yeah,
Americans.
like I
We
said,
steal
they're
everything.
like-
That's the answer.
Oh, we have New York.
Yeah, but
That was filmed by they were founded by the Dutch, you see, and then the people took over after.
I
So
wonder why they changed it.
I don't know.
No, they sold it. The Dutch sold
I
New
think
York.
it
now.
was-
Yeah, but it was
forcibly
New
taken over,
Amsterdam,
though.
and then it became New York. I don't know.
It
All
was,
right,
yeah.
we're good. So is the season gonna end with Moff getting defeated? It can't be though, right? Like
Yeah, it will.
maybe they'll get Grogu back.
He's either
but I
gonna
don't.
he's either gonna die or he's gonna get very fucked up.
I think he's
Steve.
gonna
I don't
get
think he's
fucked up.
gonna die. He's got the dark saber.
Yeah.
He's too important to the main story.
Right.
Steve, what happens if he's a mini boss versus what happens if he's a main boss?
So if he's a mini boss, he survives.
And if he's not?
And if he's not, he might die this season, and we see a new arc start.
Yeah,
With Ron,
it's going the Rebels route where Thrawn comes in because all the
I legit
that is
thought when Gideon was walking like
To
to
call
go
Thrawn.
Oh, I was like,
call him.
this
Yep,
is it.
I also
Thrawn
did.
is the actual big bad. Now is when it happens.
I think they're rivals. I don't think they're working together. I think Thrawn and
didn't
Gideon are
think
probably
so.
rivals.
That would be
I
good.
didn't
Like
think
that.
so until I saw what an ego he had, and I'm like, yeah, it's very possible.
I think Gideon's trying to take what the remnants of the Empire for himself. That's left.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to see
That
was
could be
not
very
just jumping in. I didn't want to see just jumping into the First Order. I wanted to see the factions kind of going at each other, trying to struggle, which is what will happen.
Because if
It's-
Thrawn is also going to be the focus of the Ahsoka show, which like it's like a 75% chance that's happening. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to touch on that in this show unless they do some kind of crazy Avengers team up where the show's combined for like a mini season and they fight.
Or
this
Marvel's
one.
Defenders.
Right, like more like Defenders on Netflix, probably. Yeah.
Star Avengers.
So I mean that's a way that could go, but I don't think Thrawn is going to be the focus of this. If the Ahsoka episode felt like a backdoor pilot, you know, like so that seems like that's her mission, and this is going to be something else.
Yeah. I don't think Thrawn wants anything to do with a broken and just barely surviving Imperial remnant. Like,
Probably not.
That's
No,
not
he's too
his
smart
mission.
for that.
No, because his
Thrawn's
whole
gonna
allegiance was
worry
to the
about-
Chiss to begin with.
if Thrawn is back and he's still not lost in the unknown regions, then he'll be all about the Chiss ascendancy again. Like,
He will.
he's not
Because
going back to try and fix the Empire.
no, the Empire was his gamble to try and get, because his
I
and
mean,
then, and it said
even
in
the
like
droids,
the
they
third
had
book. I didn't read the third book yet.
logo on him.
Yeah, they had his Legion logo or whatever his fleet logo on it. The HK
On the droid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On the HK-87s.
Yeah.
Which I'm impressed that someone was able to see those, because even when I knew that they were there, I tried to
No, you
pause
had
and
to
see if I
freeze
could
it.
make it out.
Yeah, no, you had
I
to.
did freeze it. I did
Oh.
freeze it. I still had a hard time trying to see it. But I was going.
Well, so this is what can happen then. They're going to gather the posse. They're going to do the prison break or whatever the hell happens next episode.
Yeah,
And then the last episode's probably them getting Grogu back.
that's going to be a long ass episode.
How
I'm
do
sure.
you think
It's going to be a
the
twofer.
prison break goes haywire? Like, what do you think goes wrong?
It's going to be a big assembly. It's going to be a big prison. It's not just going to be a small ship. It's
Like
going
a
to be
whole riot. No, they think it's a planet he's on. They said like
It is a
something
planet.
yards.
And it's
Yeah,
also
They said he's in the
of some
something
sort.
field or something.
you're also dealing with proper New Republic now. You're not just dealing with a bunch of security droids. You're dealing with the New Republic, not the Empire. So there's probably some concerns of just going at it and saying like, they're stormtroopers. Fuck it. No. Kara's going to want to minimize any casualties possible because she's a marshal now.
If
She's not
didn't
going. I don't think she's going.
I think she's gonna try to
No, she did.
to get
She
him
said
the
she's in.
legit way. I think it goes sideways. I don't think it's gonna happen.
She's going to try and she's going to be conflicted, but she already said that she's in because they have
The kid, yeah.
She
Grogu.
didn't say she was in. She did not.
I
Well,
could have sworn she said that.
she's
It's just
gonna
that you
go and
don't
she's
look.
gonna die.
She just
Or I'm
gave
just
a
hoping for it.
stern look.
I love that too, where he's like, "Hey, can you give me this classified information?" She's like, "Sure, here it is."
Yeah.
Why did you need it? Oh,
And she's only having a problem when it's like, oh, you're gonna actually do something about it. I would have never expected that. I thought you were just checking in to make sure this guy was locked up.
hey, bounty
It
hunter
wasn't-
friend.
it wasn't
Sure, I can
classified
find where that
information.
criminal is.
No, it wasn't.
It was like a police officer rolling up on his Rolodex. You know, it's just like this is not.
Oh, hold on.
Classified.
No. I've totally had a buddy of mine who was a cop who totally looked up a bunch of people for laughs with me when I was just out of high school.
That's
are
also
public
shady.
No, they're
Yeah.
public record.
So I'm just saying, they do that. It's not a thing that's like, oh no, that's so off. No.
Yeah,
They're
that's
probably
that
not
is
telling
public record.
exactly where they're at, though.
I think she's gonna
Yeah.
try to pull him out legit. Like she's gonna say like, I need this guy or whatever for something.
There's
something.
gonna be a lot of conflict with that.
Maybe there's gonna be a
Between-
prison riot. I don't know. Maybe they'll
Ooh,
pull.
I got
No.
an idea. Interrogation scene gone wrong.
That sounds like gone sexual, so I'm gonna ignore that.
Is the Twi'lek gonna be there?
I hope
Oh.
not.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I have to prepare myself if she is.
Yeah.
I don't like her.
Freaking Davaronian.
It's Tom's wife.
No, it's not.
Admittedly, she kind of started.
What's your problem with the Twi'lek?
I
She's
found her
annoying.
to be annoying.
She's annoying. Stop hissing at people.
Oh, I'm actually doing
Weird,
that.
weird to hiss at people.
I appreciate the attempt at like making a different, like moving away from the sexy Twilight. They just went too far, and it just was very.
It was a little edgelordy.
You didn't
It's like
like
the
it, that was-
female version of edgelord. Like
I don't
She's
want
an
the sexy
edge lady.
Twi'lek. I just
I
want
mean,
the
they were all
not
trying to like out unlikable
It
each
felt
other.
very much like a D&D campaign, but like
yeah, see that's why I think I liked
run
it.
by 14-year-olds who just figured out how to say the F word.
That was the one episode where when I saw the concept art for the costumes, I was like, they did not nail this. They did not, because the costume,
Yeah, that was
the
the thing, was
concept art looked fantastic, and then their costumes were not good.
Bill Burr looked like he was wearing a sweater.
I mean,
He was.
There's a Monkel wearing
Yeah.
an
I
actual
remembered seeing
It's
that.
like the Chris
Yeah.
I
Evans
remembered
sweater.
seeing that. I remembered seeing that in the
sweaters
in
are
the trailer
canon now.
when they
okay?
showed. I didn't know who Bill Burr was before. I didn't know who Bill Burr was before I watched the show. Now I love him. But I remember being like, "This looks great. This looks great. This looks cinematic. That looks like a fan film." Like, what is that shot doing in there?
I don't know. I love the ship scene when he started hunting them down on the ship. Like I thought,
love
I loved that. It was great.
yeah.
I watched it. Like I said, I just watched it again the other 3 days ago, and I was like, "This is so good."
Rick, and I don't want
The
to
music
butcher
in it
his
was
fucking
good,
last
too.
name, so I'm not gonna try to pronounce it.
Fumawaya?
Yes.
Fumawaya?
Yeah. He shot episode 2 from the first season too. Like his action sequences are just ballers. So I know whatever's gonna
yeah,
happen next episode,
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna be lots of fucking action.
What do you guys think of the fact that Robert Rodriguez directed this episode?
I
I
mean,
loved it.
it
I
it
know you
looked
would.
so Robert Rodriguez to me, but I love all
I
his
know.
fucking movies. So I was
It
just like,
reminded me a lot of Spy Kids.
oh, I
didn't
forgot.
know
Did
that.
he do that too? I forgot about that.
What the fuck is his name? His name? I'm drawing a blank.
Kids. Oh my god.
Now I'm imagining Steve Buscemi making like this quote about God in a Spy Kids 2 movie.
Yeah.
Again, like
God would have come down here and tested his own creatures.
I totally forgot because I'm like they Screen Crush showed like Robert Rodriguez reel, and it was a bunch of Antonio Banderas. I should.
Oh yeah,
put
Desperado.
two together.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, Dusk Till Dawn.
Movie.
There you
Once
go,
Upon a
it's-
Time in Mexico.
Oh yeah, and that's
Daddy?
part of the Desperado, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part
Yeah.
of the series.
Yeah.
I'm a bad film planner.
No, I mean he brought some
That was
true
actually my
fucking
introduction to
flair.
Johnny Depp.
It was good. It was good. And he was a pinch hitter. Apparently, somebody else was slated to direct this episode, and they had to bail at the last minute. I think it might have been Deborah Chow, and then she got pulled to do Obi-Wan. So she didn't. No? What do you think, Joe? You're shaking your head no? What?
I don't have any proof, but I think it was James Mangold.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
why there was a
Boba
rumor
Fett?
that James Mangold was doing a Boba Fett film, and then later that rumor became Robert Rodriguez was doing something with Boba Fett, and I think this
That'd
is
be
what it
cool.
was.
Oh, that's possible, too. That's definitely... And we don't know who's directing the last episode at all. So either it's a repeat director, or it's somebody they're very carefully hidden. They don't want
They're
it
good
getting
at
out.
keeping shit under wraps. We didn't know Baby Yoda existed until
Mm,
the first
yeah.
episode.
B. George. B.
Yeah, they're really good
Hey,
about that.
I don't know. I mean,
Even Disney was good about that.
I don't think
Disney
George
was
would
a bit
do
like-
it.
He can do it.
I don't think he would do it.
My issue,
No.
I don't think George
No.
can take direction on Star Wars from someone else.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. He's no
If
longer.
it's Dave Filoni?
I don't think Filoni could direct Dad.
Yeah.
He
No,
wouldn't
Daddy.
be, he wouldn't
Daddy.
feel
You should...
I don't know.
He wouldn't feel comfortable with it, nor would John.
Yeah, I think they would have a hard time.
As someone with daddy issues, I can tell you.
And I just read this interview about why
He
he
was dad
sold
issues. His dad died like a couple years ago.
why he sold Star Wars though, like, and he had to let it go, and it was really hard for him. So I just don't think he would like hurt himself and go back into that.
Especially when he didn't. Yeah, if he doesn't have full control over it, I just don't see it being that sort of thing.
He's not one to do that normally.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why it
he's
would
the
be so
guy who was
special.
like, "I'm gonna make my own film."
It would be crazy if he did it.
No
That's
one
why it
else.
would be so
I'd
special
love
if
to
he
see
did.
it.
Yeah, it would be cool if he did it. But there's a good chance it could be a repeat director. From
So
I would be
if
right
it's
back.
George Lucas, then the chances of Luke being the one to answer the call go way, way up.
yeah.
Luke, by Luke, you mean Sebastian Stan.
I don't give a shit who it is. It could be a silhouette in Mark Hamill's voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
A silhouette in the
They could just
Joker's
de-age
voice.
him. They could do Sebastian Stan's lower body and then just age the face.
I mean, but his
with,
face
That's
just
a
looks
lot
just
of
like
money.
him.
That is a lot of money for a TV show.
And Mark Hamill gave Sebastian Stan his blessing a while ago.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
all you
possible.
really need is like a dark cloak, a dude like, and some voiceover. You don't even need to really show his face.
Yeah. That's true. It could be
I
him.
think-
I've heard rumors.
Luke is one of the few. Luke is one of the few characters that to my knowledge, hasn't really been played by anyone else.
No, I mean,
Like,
because he
they
wasn't
did
in any of the animated.
Ehrenreich for Han Solo.
Because Leia, yeah, Alden Ehrenreich, but I'm also talking about like animated shows too.
Yeah, Leia
because-
was in Rebels.
Yep.
So she,
so
but
was
Luke was
Padme.
never.
No, he wasn't. He was
the
just
only time
mentioned
Luke showed up was that episode of Rebels when he was still a kid. And he
as a
wasn't-
silhouette.
Who
Yeah.
plays Luke in who plays Luke in Battlefront 2?
Oh, that's a good
you're right.
question.
Oh yeah, because he is the
Yeah.
on that.
I tried to. I was
And
hoping no one would
Jedi
notice.
Academy.
Well, that was a long
Yeah,
time
that's not
ago.
canon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not that's old canon. But Battlefront 2 is canon.
Yeah, I was hoping no one would notice that because I remembered it, but I'm like, I'm gonna say it anyway.
Inferno Squad and all that shit was pretty cool. To be fair, that was pretty cool. Well, what if it's Mara
That's
Jade?
a good idea executed. Yeah.
What if Mara Jade's the one who answers the call?
I don't think we're getting Mara Jade.
No, because
much
again, what the character was and what she'd wind up being are two different things. That's why we'll never
It's
see
true.
Katarn again.
Yeah, but
Because
that's
his entire purpose for existing is no longer an option.
his
Let's
entire
just face
purpose.
it,
But hers
Cassian
could
is
be.
Kyle Katarn.
Yes, I mean he became.
Just don't tell that to Kyle Katarn fans.
Well, all right.
I
So
want to cosplay as Kyle Katarn. I know.
So we got so we have the outlandish theories of Mace Windu or Mara Jade. We have the possibility of it being Ezra or Luke. I don't think if Thrawn isn't going to be the focus in this show, I don't think we're going to see Ezra.
I don't think we're going to see such those big of characters thrown into it because everyone that's been thrown into it has been they've been a strong character, but they're not the main character. Well, they're not the main.
Not
character.
Luke. They're not Luke tier.
Exactly.
was here.
Quinlan
Ahsoka,
Voss.
Quinlan
Ahsoka,
I think.
Cal
Ahsoka
Kestis.
was a main character, but I would again argue that she was not the
Who?
Ahsoka.
Oh, Ahsoka.
I-
No, she
I
was
would
the main
argue
character
Clone
of
Wars is
Clone
story
Wars.
from Ahsoka's point of view.
Yeah, she's the main character
Yeah.
of Clone Wars.
She's absolutely the main character of Clone Wars. For sure. But, I mean, you can make the argument that she wasn't a main character in any of the movies, which is like...
Well, again, like the thing was, like she was a main character, but like Boba, like as big as Boba is, he's a supporting character.
Well, sure, he
And
had
he's
like
only
4
gaining
lines in
relevance
all of the
now.
movies. He didn't have like a lot of... He said more in this episode than he did in all the movies he was in combined, so...
See,
I
I
love
never liked Boba from the movies. That bored me. I liked Boba when I encountered him in the games. That was when I was like, he's got a motherfucking jetpack!
That's why I loved Django. That's why I fell in love with Django, because I went back and watched the fight scene with Obi-Wan again. I loved it.
No, Django was
Same.
Good fight
badass.
scene.
Django was,
Django was
badass.
awesome. He will continue to be my favorite.
Django was the only gaming quality of Attack of the Clones.
Yes, that's the
In
reason
my
I loved
opinion.
Attack of the Clones. Purely was for Django,
The
and that was
whole arena
it.
scene I
I-
pretty much love.
Yeah,
The what?
the whole Geonosis arena.
Yeah, the Geonosis arena
Yeah,
in
the
general.
last
is pretty
20 minutes of that movie were awesome.
Honestly, I feel like the only flaw of that movie was the dialogue. Like the major flaw.
Uh,
You found the flaw of the entire prequel trilogy.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the problem with all of it.
Well, also the romance. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
but the ideas behind it were great. The ideas,
The
like
romance
the
arc
locations,
was-
Yeah.
what's going on
Yeah.
with the story.
The
that was
story was great though. It was coherent.
Prequels.
The
It's
best,
like the problem I had with the book was the writing.
the best fix that I've ever heard for the prequels is you kind of re-angle everything to make Obi-Wan like definitively the main character.
So it's all from his
Hmm.
point of view.
no.
Yeah, because you're not
Yeah.
focusing on Anakin. Because you're not focusing on Anakin and Padme.
Like, you make him the main character. It's about how he trained Anakin and lost Anakin to the dark side. And then the next one is Luke's story of how he helped return Anakin to the light.
Look at Joe.
You're muted.
Muted.
We can't
He
hear
was
you.
AFK.
Doesn't matter.
Opted
He
for
doesn't
that.
need to be muted. You don't need to hear him. His face is telling everything.
That's true.
The real way you fix the prequels is you make Naboo Alderaan. That's how you fix
That
the
will-
prequels.
That helps. You also get rid of Count Dooku and you just make Darth Maul the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like Dooku. and
I
that's
like
true.
Dooku also, but Maul as the consistent villain would have probably been better.
Dooku's only in it because Christopher Lee met George Lucas at a party and was like, hey, I'd like to be in your movie. And George Lucas went,
I would do that
Well, here's
too.
the thing.
If
Here's
I
the
was in
thing.
charge of anything and Christopher Lee wanted in, he'd be in.
And while like you can go back to the whole thing of Maul surviving, but his supposed death served a purpose
Yeah.
what purpose?
to realize the threat and also to make Obi-Wan legit as like he is the person like deal with this shit.
Yeah, no, but imagine that if Maul had lived. Now Obi-Wan has like...
I don't think it would have been as. I don't think his achievement would have been as significant.
I would have agreed with you if not for the Clone Wars, because Maul's arc on the Clone Wars I don't think could have existed if he was the villain elsewhere, and
Yeah,
that was
it
so
made him a
good.
much better villain.
Yes.
It made him a much better villain because it propelled his motivation.
But if they had gotten the prequels right to begin with, the Clone Wars would have need to have been such a fic.
That's true. But I appreciate it for what
I
it
don't
was.
see it as much of a fix. I see it more as just like they wanted to expand on it because it was such a big period in time that you really couldn't capture it in a movie unless it would have just felt rushed.
Yeah, I agree with that, except I also think I don't care for the prequels. I think they're...
Well, there you go.
But whenever I watch them in the context of Clone Wars, that adds more meaning to it.
I
It
agree
does.
with that.
Yes, 100%.
Obi-Wan is my favorite Star Wars character, mostly because of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
McGregor.
because otherwise you're like, yes, Anakin, kick his ass a little bit.
It's like, oh, how did Anakin fall to the dark side?
My favorite Clone Wars episode is the one where they're traveling. It's Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Satine are traveling, and there's a terrorist on the ship.
Yeah.
That's the first episode we see her in, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
Second.
in that first
Or the
arc.
second.
And he's like, well, you won't stop me because you're a pacifist, and you won't stop me because you're a Jedi. No one can stop me. And then a lightsaber sprouts from his chest. And everyone's like,
What? He was
and
gonna
then
blow
they
up
go,
the ship.
And everyone just went,
Anakin!
just the hands on the hip.
That's
Hands on the
the
hip.
best. What are you talking about? That's
Anakin.
the best. It's the best.
That is the best way to sum up the Clone Wars, was that one moment.
Yeah.
There's also the episode where Anakin tortures somebody in another room while 3 Jedi Masters just listen to the ominous music and go, huh, wonder what Skywalker's doing.
Wait, which one was that?
Yes.
That's
Which
Cad
one?
Bane when he tortures Cad Bane.
No, they all 3 of them did.
Yeah.
Well,
The Cat Bane, all 3 of them did that.
Yeah, that was just Anakin.
It was all 3
Who
doing
were the other
the line break
masters?
at the same
It was
time.
Windu and Plo Koon, I think.
Obi-Wan.
Or
Nope, it was
Obi-Wan.
Mace
The
Windu,
episode-
Obi-Wan, and
There you
Anakin.
go.
I mean,
No,
who's
the
surprised?
episode I'm
Let's
thinking
get up,
of,
Mace Windu.
It's like Anakin,
It wasn't-
Plo Koon, and Luminara and Dooley, and Anakin walks out to go interrogate somebody, and Plo Koon and Luminara just look at each other like, huh, that feels dark.
Was that?
No, it's probably
that was with Poggle. That
It
was with
might be
Poggle the
Poggle.
Lesser. It was
Right.
Poggle the Lesser because they were trying to get rid of the brain worms.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot that we're able to pull from there to flush things out, but now I'm wondering what else is left for this. They can't kill Gideon off unless
So-
there's somebody waiting in the wings, right?
Mm.
Do we think the next episode is just him trying to spring him from prison? Is that?
Oh, yeah. It's-
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it's going to be
it's
springing from
gathering the
prison
posse.
and also enlisting more people.
Yeah, it's gathering the posse. 100%.
Because I don't
You
want them
think
to
Cobb
rush
Vanth
into
is gonna
it.
come back?
He might be able to get Cobb Vanth. He might be
Maybe.
able to get Ahsoka.
I
No,
don't think we're
this
seeing
is why I
Ahsoka
don't
again.
think-
The biggest character he's going to get is Bo. And that's a maybe.
I think that's the least likely.
Yeah, I don't think he's going for any of them. I think he's like, all right, let's get Mace
It's just
on the
gonna
jet
happen.
to as fast as possible. But they're not killing Gideon off without having a conversation between Gideon and Bo.
But
So
absolutely.
if they're
Yeah.
killing him
That's
off
very
this
true.
season,
That is very
then
true.
Bo's gonna
Getting
show
enough
up.
this season.
Bo might find out at the same time again, the same
Yeah.
time that they find out where Gideon is. Bo might just happen upon them at the same time. You know,
It's very possible.
She is looking
They
for
may
him.
be able to.
for sure.
Because, here's the
and then
thing.
she's gonna be like, "Oh, you again."
Here's the thing. That ship that they stole, the Gazanti, probably had flight logs knowing where to go to meet the fleet
sure.
to bring that
That's a good
supplies.
That's probably why they wanted to crash it.
They did not. That's why they wanted to crash it. And also, is plus the supplies. But like, yeah, they didn't wipe it. Their solution was just put it in the water, and they didn't.
Which, by the
So,
way,
I
probably
think
would
it's
have
very possible.
destroyed the ship. But
So that's a possibility.
Very
And they
good point.
end up
Very good
using.
point.
yeah, well, they could all
Which
coalesce
makes it
together.
makes it a little less hokey that they would just show up at the same time again. Because that
Exactly.
seems, you know,
And
to
she
be a
could have
theme.
been amassing a strike force. She
And
could have been taking those weapons back, being like, "Okay, gear up, get on the ship, let's go." Oh, hey, they're already under attack. What's going on?
So
What if it's? No, go ahead, Nikki.
it's off topic. So if you're still talking about this, then
I would say, what if it's Bo and not just Casca and Axe? Because from what I know, Casca's not in any more episodes. this
Unless she
season.
was playing coy, which is possible.
But what if it's Bo and like 10 or 15 other Mandalorians?
Right.
That's what
More
I'm thinking.
quick.
And that's
Yeah.
what it's like a build up
Oh,
to
Pad
what Steve thinks-
Vizsla.
like Steve
That's
thinks
going to be
that's
a
where
big
the
finale.
series
That
is
would be a
going,
big finale.
is
Yeah.
towards Mandalore. So it makes more sense to bring in even more Mandalorians if that's where you're going to start pushing towards.
I don't think we're going to see any of the Children of the Watch yet, though.
It would be
Yet.
interesting if we did
Because-
see the Children of the Watch and Bo cross paths, and it was very much a choice moment.
That's
yes,
going to be a season.
and I
3
want
thing,
that
think.
to happen, but I don't know if there's time for it in this season right now.
I don't think
No,
It's like cliffhanger it like Empire.
What's going to happen is I
Season
think we're going
two.
to see the prison break. We're going to see the start of the Mandalorians going back on the offensive and having this new motivation of Din and Bo realizing that they're on the same path. They're
Yeah.
looking at the same objective. That's going to give them a reason to recruit members of the Watch and to find a new covert. That's how we're going to start seeing that all tied together. Is next season, I think we're going to start seeing the Mandalorians coming back into force.
Where you've got
And that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna wrap up Grogu either like permanently leaving or permanently staying?
he's staying.
And then
That boy's staying.
Maybe, but it depends on who answers the call from the stone. Because obviously he decided, I'm going to reach out.
if you look at it thematically, a lot of what The Mandalorian is about is family and connections. And I just don't see them building this up to Grogu making the decision to leave.
He's not going to
You're
leave.
right. It's not going to happen this season. No.
But at the same time, then he needs to kind of grow a little bit. And
There's a chance for both.
The pitch for the show was based on a samurai movie where a samurai warrior has a child with him. The
Yeah,
whole
Lone Wolf and
movie,
Cub.
basically, okay?
And what we're
So-
seeing now,
If you take that and expand on it, somebody answers the call.
Mhm.
For a while, we lose Grogu from the show. Then Mando
Yeah.
gets into shit, and Grogu comes and saves his ass.
could be. What I think as well is that we're now starting to see a reason to kind of keep an eye on Grogu, especially with potentially dark side tendencies.
Oh, yes. My baby's got
Yeah.
anger issues.
I think that's the end result of being a toddler and having force powers.
Also, though, I thought about something today. When Ahsoka's talking about the memories that she senses from him, he says things go dark, right? What
Yeah.
if he's not actually
Well,
a
it's also forgetting
50-year-old
stuff.
toddler? What if he was in stasis for a while?
He might
Could
be.
have been.
Because
I think
I think that's what it meant.
She referred to, too, that he pretty much had closed himself off from the Force, kind of like Luca does.
Correct.
Right.
To survive.
Which might have
That's
happened
probably why it
after
went
he
dark.
woke up,
That's
though,
probably why it went
or
dark.
before he went into stasis. But I'm wondering, though, if he really isn't a 50-year-old, 2-year-old, basically, but if he was somehow put in stasis for a while. And
It's more like the last Airbender.
And Gideon also, yeah, kind of like the last Airbender. And Gideon had a tone of familiarity with him in that scene at the end of the last episode, where he's like, "Oh, you've
It's
got him
not-
very good at that." Like he knows him.
Hey, Greg, you look so different. Almost better. Oh, never mind. He's back.
What? Oh.
Papa was on screen.
But yeah, so I don't
We
know.
were talking about Ted for a second.
So I'm wondering, like, maybe we'll see the character grow real fast. Like, maybe Grogu will, like, start talking to him for this and that. But maybe he isn't a 50-year-old, 2-year-old. Like, maybe he really just was in stasis this whole time, up until recently.
Well, keep in mind, he does have training, and he's able to communicate. I think he's got a few more years under his belt than people give him. He's just nonverbal.
The way he interacts, like the thing with the blue wire and the red wire, like I don't think he was fucking around. I think he legitimately was not comprehending the concept. That
Yes,
was
you're right.
to him.
I don't think he's like I don't think he's educated in that sense. I just think when it comes to, because it also, like, at that young of an age, it's probably not educating as much as it is kind of controlling your power and getting that connection. You're not really going into your vocational training.
Well, my husband brought up a good point with me the other day, and he's like, the way that he looks at people when they say his name Grogu versus any other time, it's like he doesn't
Like a
understand basic. Like, maybe for a long time he wasn't around anybody speaking basic also, and he
Non-native.
doesn't understand it. So he recognizes his name, right? But he doesn't recognize, like, a lot of the other words. Oh, we lost Joe.
He reminds me a lot of a young dog, because that sort
Like
of
a little
head cock
puppy.
is every single time that I talk to my puppy, and when I ask her a question that she doesn't understand, she cocks her head in multiple directions to try and understand.
Right. Sure.
But And also, you'll notice that he reacted very poorly to inflection.
Yes, tone of voice for sure. When he got all
Which is
got all
kind of
excited.
like a dog thing.
Yeah.
With Dank Ferret. Yeah.
Dank ferrets.
And you notice the dog just kind of like the ears went down. And...
That smell, Dank Ferrets.
Guys, we're gonna be the Dank Ferret clan. It's gonna be great.
Oh,
As if
Esposito
we're-
mentioned season
already
4.
divided.
I think Gideon will be around for season 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe 4. It depends on
Could
what
be.
happens. If he's the big bad, I think that, but he might end up with Cyborg.
Well, if the end of the show ends up being them like liberating Mandalore, then I can see him sticking around and like being the big bad for that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see him sticking around being the antagonist for the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially, I think, Uncle Monkey says that
That's what I was saying.
Esposito was the person who mentioned it season
Right.
4. I do think, more that I think about it, that it makes sense for him to be the antagonist.
Season
Especially
3,
with his capability.
Yeah. Season 3 might focus more on the internal Mandalorian conflict between the factions. With
And I
him
think it
in the
also
background, but not like the main bad guy.
And
Go ahead.
I think that it also gives us an opportunity to look at the remnants of the Imperial hierarchy, too. I want to see a scene where Gideon's like, I keep picturing that image in my head, the image from the old canon, where it was the Imperial officers wearing the gas masks and they gassed that conference. Like, that's what I'm picturing in my head, is that sort of, like, planning and trying to sabotage, like, how it was with the Empire, especially from the Thrawn books. Like, there was a lot of, like, backstabbing and trying to, all these sorts of power struggles, even when the Empire was forced.
Well,
so
sure.
what remains, I want to see, like, the conniving, especially, like, people who still have Star Destroyers, people who still have all these resources, people that still have manpower.
Admiral Sloane, I think, is the only one with a Super Star Destroyer left that we know of. Maybe there might be
She
another
was
one.
last I heard.
Yeah. And we don't know
It'll be very
which ones
interesting.
connect back to First Order and Palpatine's secret fleet, and which ones, like, we know some of the First Order guys tied back to the whatchamacallit.
I think, well, obviously, it
the
seems
old
like
Empire.
Gideon is going to be the one tied most to the First Order.
See, I don't know,
Um,
though. I feel like he's doing his own thing.
At the end of the Aftermath books, Hux's dad is leading
yeah.
an escape with children to the unknown regions from
Yeah.
Jakku.
And in the Bloodlines book, Leia uncovers the first, like, mentions of the
They-
First Order.
They could, yeah. This cloning process may not be directly for Palpatine. This could be their own attempts to do something else. The First Order sees this, being the bigger fish in the pond, and goes, "Oh, let me have some of that." Like, oh, I've been looking for this.
I still feel like he's just doing these experiments to make himself force sensitive. I don't know. To me, that seems like
No.
a Gideon thing. He would do that because, like, if he wants to emulate Vader or the Emperor and that success, he sees that being force sensitive might be important to that.
I don't
No?
think it's for him though. Because we saw those chambers. He's trying
Yeah,
to
those are
create
test.
life.
No, those are test
He's-
subjects.
He's
ain't-
trying to create. He is honestly trying to create life. in my opinion.
Listen.
Because Pershing is a cloner,
We don't know
But
that.
also
That's
that-
the Imperial Science Division. It could be anything.
but those are Kaminoan.
I know that's where
Mark.
it started, but that's the symbol of the Imperial Science Division. They said.
Well, it could also be that the cloning process probably required some sort of M count as well, if that is what it takes to create life.
See, I don't think this motherfucker's dumb. I think he wants something,
No.
but he's not going to test it in himself. He wants to make sure the process works before he does
Or
it to
the
himself.
next evolution of his Dark Troopers.
If they're cyborgs.
No, I think the Dark Troopers are just a means to the end. I don't think
Yeah.
that they're the end.
Yeah, no, they're just like his elite, like, especially if they're made of Beskar for some reason, like, then they're
I don't
badass
think so.
motherfuckers. But we'll
They're-
see.
I think they're going to be closer to BX armor than anything else.
He's making M Warriors, so Force Troopers. Yeah. I mean, he could be trying all that stuff. Like, I mean, I think he's all doing it for himself, for sure. I don't think he has any
Oh, yeah.
grand designs on supporting the First Order. I think he wants to be in charge of what's left.
And especially, like I said, after we saw his arrogance talking to Grogu at the end of that episode,
Mm-hmm.
that was when I was like, that was when I went from, like, he's working with Thrawn, or they're kind of working together, to like, no, this dude, like, ego is his problem.
Yeah. Well.
So you're saying his overconfidence will be his undoing?
Or it'll be his weakness.
You see, it's poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah. Well, so that's what I think might happen. I think they'll somehow magically, miraculously rather, pull off rescuing Grogu by the finale. Because if we're going to go back to what Dave was taught by George Lucas, they're not going to want to end it without hope, right?
Yeah. And also, like, they're not going to want to rush anything for Game of Thrones. They have no reason to.
So they get the kid back at the end, but I don't think Gideon dies, at least not permanently.
I think he's going to get fucked up.
What if they get the kid back, but Gideon accomplishes his goal?
Which is also very true, and then he doesn't need him anymore. Yeah, they managed to do it. That's also a possible.
Yeah, he's going to get enough. He's going to get enough for a prototype.
And the Hail Mary on the season finale might be whoever Grogu called with the Force Stone shows up.
Yeah, that could be that's probably going to be the season finale at the point.
Yeah.
We're not going to wait until season 3 to find that out.
And or we'll get a very flashy look at like a silhouette at the very end.
I think if
we're going to get a green lightsaber and we're not going to know who it is.
If it's going to be a season 3 thing, it's going to wind up being season 3 because
Joe, I know what you're going to say. Shut your mouth. I thought he was going to say something about the green lightsaber, and I'm like, he's going, or it could be a purple one.
But then I think then season 3. I think season 3 will focus on uniting all the Mandalorian factions to then fully take on Gideon and whatever crazy ass thing he just built.
It's shaping up to be much like Rebels in that sense of they're still getting the band together. Season 3 was all about actually establishing the rebellion and working on bringing players together. And that's it ended with the undoing, and it went back and forth. It's kind of like that rise and fall sort of thing. But yeah, it is playing out a lot like Rebels in that sense of them building this organization and then slowly becoming like, okay, yeah, we got to do something.
Yeah. So we're going to definitely see the conflict between the Children of the Watch and the rest of the Mandalorians. And then you'll have, like, the Boba side, which are all the independent operators out there.
It's going to be a lot. We could see...
represents our 3 factions.
We could see Imperial Mandalorian.
You think there's any left, though? I don't think there's any left.
It's possible. It is possible.
They brought back Dark Troopers. I think we can get some Imperial Mandos.
But I think that there are certain people who... I think some of those Imperial Mandos may realize that they're in too deep, and there's no future for them on it.
Would they have still stuck around after the Empire ended, though? Like,
I think if it was their means for survival,
would have them back.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Mandalore would still be under Imperial jurisdiction even after the fall of.
If there was a purge, yes. If there was a purge, probably.
Keep in mind, Din has referred to it as destroyed.
Yeah, like they say, like it's like a wasteland. Nothing survives on the planet.
But
I mean, they were already living
So
in bubble
probably
cities before.
Yeah, it's probably occupied.
So, huh?
I think Din had spent time on Mandalore at a very young age, and then it had just been
probably
again.
In the beginning.
I think a lot of Din
split.
not knowing people is his isolation to a degree.
He was definitely saved by Death Watch, brought to Mandalore temporarily at least, and I think when Maul took over Death Watch is when his Children of the Watch split.
I think he was there during the Purge.
But that would have happened in Rebels. That happened like...
We don't know
we know for a fact the Purge happened after Rebels.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
and I think they had already split by then because otherwise he would have seen Mandalorians not wearing helmets way sooner.
Yeah, and again, that was that sort of. I think that was their return to the basic.
I think that their Children of the Watch split happened when Maul took over.
I think it happened during.
Or Siege of Mandalore. But the Purge happened after Rebels.
Because that was the whole reason that, yes.
He would have been so much older. He would have only been... Yeah, he's like... He would have been an adult by then.
We know he hasn't taken that helmet off since he was like 11.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that
That's
would have
true.
had to have happened right after the Clone Wars. Like
They may have been a cult that was active
during the
like
Clone Wars.
yeah,
It may have been a more extreme faction of Death Watch.
could isolate their members. He may not have known, like he may have been on Mandalore and still not have known Mandos outside of the cult.
Right.
Yeah.
They may have been saying Mandalore has been destroyed since.
But his
whenever.
name was in a Mandalorian registry on Mandalore.
No, you're
though.
muted. You're muted,
That's-
Joe.
Yeah, Joe's muted. If you've been saying
He's
anything at all, Joe.
interjecting
God,
saying
I've been
stuff.
talking
Joe.
so much too.
I've just
I've been
really
watching him, I'm like, when's he gonna realize?
talk and not hear him.
I know.
That's why I said something. I'm looking at him, I'm like, he's trying to make points now. I'm like, you're reasoning, like you're doing, you're listening and just going like this,
He's
and then
never-
you started talking.
He's never been to Mandalore. That's
You don't
my
think
take
he's
on it.
ever been at-
I
Nope.
kind of agree with Joe. I don't think he would have been on Mandalore. I think he would have
It's
just
possible.
been
It's very possible.
The way he
Because
talks about it for Bo makes it seem like he's never been there.
So
He's
how did
kind
his
it
of-
has
name
been
get
an
there?
isolation.
Like you said, if he was there at any point, like Nikki's point, like it's true. He could have been there in like a small area where he never saw anybody with their helmet off. Like I'm not gonna disparage that point completely. It just feels like as a whole though, he doesn't know enough about Mandalore. Like he says that, oh, that place is cursed, that place is whatever, and then Bo's like, don't believe everything you've heard, you know?
Yeah.
Like
The safer bet, the
also
safer bet of the
possible-
storyline.
it's also possible that the Children of the Watch, like his group, split at the same time that Death Watch became a thing when the rest of the planet became pacifist. Like
Mhm.
they could have split and just been non-violent, like, hey, we're not going to become a terrorist group, which is what Death Watch is. We're just going
And
to
then
go
you
do our
had
own
Children of the
thing.
Watch. who
Yeah,
were
they
probably
had more
against
honor.
It could have happened then instead of later. It could have happened, like you're saying. It definitely could have happened later. But I
Or-
think it could have happened before those events as well. Because it just feels like the way that he understands what Mandalorian culture is, it doesn't seem to me like he's been there. You know?
I think the safe bet for Dim's character and like the safe bet for like the story of the Watch is assume it's more isolated. Assume that he has been completely isolated. And the thing to remember as well is when they said we only go above ground one at a time.
Yeah.
So Dim may have been getting out there, but he probably didn't get out a whole lot.
But I think that happened after the purge. I'm just wondering then how his name got
That's
into
true.
Mandalorian
That's true.
records on Mandalore. That's all. If they were separated before all of that,
Yeah.
how did that happen? Somebody had to have been tied in there.
So I
That's
don't think
why
the
I
children,
think it's
the
more-
Children to Watch was born out of
I think
what
it
they
happened
believed to be a
in Clone
necessity
Wars.
for survival.
I think it
I
happened
have-
after Siege or something.
I think that Children of the Watch is descended from Death Watch after Maul's Mandalorians were defeated.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Possible, yeah, because outsiders, and they're like, this needs to go
Especially-
back to Mandalore.
Especially if the armorer is Rook cast. Because we know where she
Yeah.
was up until the Siege.
Spikes on the helmet. Come on.
Yeah. That's my big theory.
Even though she didn't have spikes on the helmet in the Clone Wars.
That's a good point about the registry on Mandalore. Why would his name be in it if he hadn't been to Mandalore?
Right, they had to have
The
ties
registry
back
could have just been
somehow.
clans. The registry could have been clans or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if
Yeah.
they were completely cut off from Mandalore, why would they have even reported in, you know?
And does the Death Watch keep records, though? Does it keep records stored on Mandalore? Because they were a fringe organization.
If they had their own locations and stuff like that, we only see the pacifist version.
Right.
It's possible there are other cities.
Well,
And
that
clearly
record
there
is
weren't.
not-
There were more. Because Fen Rao was not a pacifist and he was training clones in the Clone Wars, right? Like, Skull
Well,
Squadron
not only
was a
training,
thing.
but like the protectors
Right,
were
the Protectors were a
what
thing.
they were.
Right.
Yeah, they weren't just like the supposed guard that we saw. They were ones who are actually closer to their traditional heritage.
Right. And I hope we see the Protectors again, too, because that would be a really cool faction to pull back out of the fucking Aether. And
Yeah.
I will say a million times over, if Kevin McKidd showed up in this shit, I would lose it. Like, everybody lost it for Boba, and I did too. But I'm such a Kevin McKidd fangirl
We
because
lost
of
for
Rome.
we lost for Ahsoka.
Do you
Yeah.
think we'll get live action Fen Rao?
Yes, because why the fuck not?
I
Like,
think it's possible. It's possible
why
he
not? He's
could've started-
based on him too. Like, you can tell they kind of did the animation version of Kevin
No, no,
McKidd.
no,
for
no,
him.
Here's the thing.
And then
The-
Amy Katie.
Yeah.
The The
I can't believe
protectors
I was muted for
were
like 15 minutes.
the protectors were pulled from the
The
best,
best
of
of
the
each
clans.
clans, right?
Now that the clans are actually more active, there's more of a chance that Rao could start rebuilding the protectors. He's like, okay, now that we have all these clans together, all working together, I'm going to start rebuilding this.
And he
Let's see,
has
we have Clan
a
Eldar, we have
fucking
Clan
vendetta against the Imperials.
Well, that
Him
too,
and-
but
him and
also I
Bo-Katan.
think that was his whole purpose, was that because he was the leader before, he's going to want to see this because he pledged the protectors. He's going to start rebuilding the protectors again
I hope so.
because the clans are active again.
Oh man, I want to see Clan Eldar in live action.
Yeah,
I
no,
need
it'd be
a flashback
badass.
to the Night of 1,000 Tears.
I think we'll
Yes.
see that. I think we will see that. Possibly,
Oh, we have
if we're
to.
going to see it, it's going to be next season.
Yeah, oh yeah, season
And it's
3.
going to be when Children of the Watch and them start talking. I think that's when we're going to realize how old they are.
Joe and I were talking about this the other day.
Whose music is that?
I think it's Greg. Greg's chilling over there.
Yeah,
He's vibing. I'm jealous.
listening to some Star Wars lo-fi right now.
No, that's the shit. What were you
Lo-fi
saying,
beats
Steve?
Study too.
Yes, that shit is. I love that animation.
Joe and you were talking.
So Joe and I were talking the other day, and we were trying to figure out what happened so Bo lost the Darksaber. And
Yeah.
I feel like she has to have been like. We decided that during all that, she had to have been going out of her way to like try to rescue people and get them off planet and everything. And Gideon has to have found her and left her for dead. That's the only way he's getting that from her.
I agree.
Left for Dead, yeah.
I mean, that's
Or-
why I thought she was going to be dead in the first place, and we'd only
I
see her in
did too.
flashbacks. Yeah, because I don't think, otherwise she would ever let it go.
I think it's like every Resistance movie ever, every single time you see a Resistance where if things are going well, they find your headquarters, they blow it to hell, and it's one of those things where it's just like, there's just no time. Like, we
Yeah.
need to go.
And also, though, we don't know how soon after she got her hands on the Darksaber that this fucking happened. The Purge, the Night of Long Tears, could have been the next fucking day for all we know. Like,
Could have been after the Battle of Yavin.
Like, that's what I'm saying. It could have been, like, fucking immediately after Rebels. She barely might have even had any time to get people together, right? Like,
yeah, I don't think it was. I think it was probably a little longer than that. If I had to guess, it's probably between Yavin and Empire.
I'm
Yeah.
going to guess post Yavin because that's when the Empire really started cracking down.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That would make more sense.
Because that's the last time that they were in full force. And
Yeah.
they weren't just all gathered around this one project. It was like, okay, we need to start
Well,
stamping this shit out
and once
because
the
it
Death
just got
Star,
real.
right? Once the Death Star blew up, they realized they were vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
They were
And they had to make a point.
Yeah.
Because anytime after that, it would have been pointless.
They had to strike back.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have made a movie about that. Like
They
seeing
had to
seeing what happened after the Battle of Yavin. It's
Nick
blunt.
thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny.
I roll with it.
I'm with you. Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll see more of that. I think we'll see what happens. I think that's going to be season 3. I think it'll be very Mandalorian focused.
Season 3 is going to, because now we have all the characters introduced, we can start fleshing them out.
So season 3, Din's gonna take his helmet off.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's gonna take it off whenever he makes the decision between, like, the Mandalorians and the Children of the Watch, or is he gonna take it off to kiss Bo?
No.
Be that second one.
It's like, you had me, and no.
Ooh. I'm with you.
No. I think
No, I'm here for
there's
it.
a very likely chance he could take it off at the end of this season.
I don't,
Especially when Bo gets involved.
I don't know.
He
That
may-
was
I don't
the
think-
finale of last season. I think it's gonna happen in like the second episode of next season.
I think
he might
No,
take
this
it
is a
off to
time to
talk
do
the
it.
baby at the end of the season.
yeah, maybe for the baby.
There's a big reason
That's-
for him
yeah.
to do that. There's a lot of motivation for it to happen. It wouldn't feel forced. I think having it at the beginning of the season would seem kind of weird, but like that moment of relief and everyone coming together and sort of that showing of like, now they're in this together, that may be what compels him to be like, you know what? Because again, like I said, this could be this could be Bo and Din realizing that they are now working towards the same goal.
I mean, they already kind of foreshadowed in the second episode of this.
What's that like? What's that joke of like? I want our date to be like punching Nazis or whatever. Like this is the equivalent.
Yes, I ship that 100%.
They're already married in my
just
heart.
playing like, wouldn't it be nice? As they're just like skipping together, shooting off West Stars.
Space married.
Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah.
Kanan and Hera are space married.
And somehow fucked through the Force or something.
What?
Or just
Not how the
slightly off
Force
screen.
It was off
They
screen.
just had sex.
Yeah, but
Anakin and Padme.
that's a big jump. That's a big jump because you got to think like they stopped in the middle of their escape to be like, we
Hug
need to
him,
bone.
get down.
I figure it probably happened a little bit before the escape.
No, because they had that was clearly their first kiss when
No,
we
it
saw.
was not.
No, in the books, they're literally married.
Yeah, no.
Are they?
They definitely,
Well, not
the
literally,
second
but-
she got back on
But
planet,
they were married,
no, they
but
were.
she never said "I love you" until right before his death.
I think that was. For
I don't think they were.
I think it
I
was.
don't think they were.
Implied they
casual.
had more of a relationship off screen.
Yeah, I think they probably didn't
I don't
want.
think they were.
Her whole thing was, I can't commit to anything right now because we got to be focused
Right,
on the rebellion. But that didn't mean that she never said that to him before. That they never.
Those two were not casual banging.
They
I
were
don't
definitely
think so.
fucking this whole time, 100%.
Like from the moment we
Absolutely.
meet them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were definitely banging.
Absolutely.
Listen,
Yeah,
all
no.
I'm saying is we see Sabine's room, we see Ezra's room.
We don't see their room.
We
There's
never
probably
see.
a fucking sex swing in there and everything.
Like, don't need to make it dirty. They're tastefully fucking. They are space married.
Hey, we don't know. We didn't see it. It probably wasn't safe for Disney.
Is there any things like? Is there any such thing as tastefully fucking though? Like, when it
Yes.
comes down to it,
It's called mission. It's called missionary.
pretty nitty gritty, you know.
It's the only way God approves of.
Yeah.
What? What? No.
Full
No!
eye contacts the whole
I feel
time.
like I need
No.
to apologize to the chat.
No.
Yeah, I thought
we
you were
don't
gonna
need
say. I
to
feel like I need to go
apologize
to
to them.
extra
They
for-
know what they're getting into. Most of these people that I know, they all know from vampires, so it's a lot worse over there.
Oh, okay, so they're used to
yeah,
weird
we're
stuff.
fine. We're fine. We're fine. Yeah, no. I think for sure that I don't know if Bo and Din though, but I think because I also love Bo and Fen. I'm kind of torn. I'll take either. Either one's good.
That'll be a season 4 plot line, the love triangle.
The love triangle.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
It'll be my
Here's the thing.
shit.
If
Love triangle.
Bo's a cougar, Finn
She's
is
not
like
gonna
an
be.
old manther.
Manther. I can't believe I
still
called you
hate that
term.
word. I still hate that word. There needs to be something better.
I don't think
Because Manther
Bo's gonna live,
sounds
though.
classy, cougar does not. There needs to be
Man-
something sleazier.
No, Manther sounds kind of like a bad guy from Thundercats.
Yeah, Manther
Yeah,
sounds
that's it.
like
Yeah.
a bad like $5 cologne or something like.
Steel Panther. Not Steel
Manther.
Panther. But, yeah, Sex Panther, whatever it was.
But I don't think Bo's gonna live. I'm very sad because I love her. She's my favorite character in Star Wars. But I think she's gonna die before the show is done because I don't think she's gonna get to be Mandalore in the end.
No, I think she's gonna be Mandalore and Din's gonna be like her consort.
This sounds like Game of Thrones all
I
over.
would love it.
Consort.
I just don't know.
It's gonna be like
Man.
and it kills me to say it because like
We don't talk about Game of Thrones in here.
It's gonna be see, here's the thing. What was the mercenary's name again?
Which one?
Dario Naharis?
Dario Naharis, yeah. It's gonna be that sort of thing.
He should not
Joe
be taking
says
real
that
estate in my
he
head.
thinks that Din's gonna just retire with his little green son and
And the
go
widow?
back to
And
the
farm spotchka.
shrimp milk.
Yeah, he's gonna farm spotchka with a shrimp.
So are you Team Bo or Team Shrimp Milk?
I'm Team Bo.
I'm for whatever's
We're all
hotter.
Team Bo,
I'm
but
for whatever's
Joe
hotter.
thinks the
Shrimp
shrimp
milk,
milk is
let's
what's
do
gonna
it.
happen here.
I need a hashtag Team Shrimp MILF shirt for Joe.
Or maybe the armor really decides to loosen up, and she's like, I like where you're going with this. I like that back.
Come on, we don't have to ship every single female character, Nick. Oh my gosh.
There's not many.
Off topic, December 10th at 4 p.m. PST. They're revealing something for the new Dragon Age game at the Game Awards.
Yeah, but they're also doing the call for Disney, the investor call, so they're going to announce all the upcoming Star Wars shit. All of it.
Yeah, and Cyberpunk will be out, so, what
They
matters?
don't delay it anymore.
It's
Well,
going
I
to
have it
be it's going to
loaded
end
on
up being
my
a beta.
computer already.
Yeah, I don't think it's getting delayed anymore. It's going to happen. But I'm not
It
going to
is
get it till
installed.
multiplayer is happening, probably, so.
You mean Keanu Reeves the game? That's all I know.
Man, won't Keanu Reeves be the coolest Revan, though? Let's be honest.
No.
No.
The only person we see is Revan
I
right now.
would love Keanu. I have like weird emotions tied in with Revan, and if it's a brunette dude who plays Revan, I'm gonna like
It
actually
needs to
cry.
have-
We
It really
agree
just
that
needs
Keanu
to
Reeves
be-
is the acceptable brunette dude.
But who would it be otherwise?
It wouldn't be. No,
Oh,
first of all,
like the lady?
first of all,
They should never
okay, I
take
gotta
the
look this
mask
up.
off.
Or that, or actually, like my little non-binary heart would be so happy to just see just Revan, and not tell anybody.
I
the
agree
mask
with
of all-
you if
okay,
they
first of
didn't
all-
put him in
First of all,
SWTOR as a dude.
Revan is almost 60. I mean, not Revan. Keanu Reeves is 56.
We
He's
don't
not
believe
playing
that.
Revan.
He's a fucking immortal. I don't know what you're talking about.
Keanu Reeves has been walking this earth since time immemorial.
Yeah, he's an immortal.
Immortals alone, okay? We don't point it out. We don't
He's
talk
immortal.
about
He's
it.
showing his age. He's not
Hell,
doing.
he is.
He's not doing any fucking chases through. What was the movie with Patrick Swayze?
Surf's Up?
That's Shia LaBeouf.
I don't know.
Shia
John
Oh,
Tsunami.
wait, you're talking about the fuck.
That's
Point
Johnny
Break.
Tsunami,
Point
right?
Break.
Point Break.
Point Break.
There you go. The first Point
Yeah,
Break.
you're not seeing like that's the difference. Like when you see that, like John Wick 3, they do it. It's set up in a way to like where it acknowledges that he's not a young man, but he's still using his strengths. Revan is not going to be like that's. It's not a good choice. It needs to be someone
Revan
younger.
doesn't need to be doing
You know,
chases.
who's that one
Yeah,
actor
Revan doesn't
from...
need to do shit. Revan's like, whatever.
Who's Prince
And plus,
Caspian?
but again, like also, I don't think Keanu has. Would really. I don't think he would play that character well. I don't.
Heresy.
You know the
Look
actor who
at
played
his-
Prince Caspian and who was also the bad guy in the Punisher series?
Which
What was his
one?
name?
Billy Russo.
The Netflix.
Oh, Russo. Yeah, the guy who was Russo.
Billy Russo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine him as well?
Maybe.
He wasn't bad.
Ben Barnes.
Yeah, Ben Barnes. That's what it was.
I-
Yeah.
I think if they ever
I have
make a
no
Revan
feelings
movie,
about
Revan
that.
keeps the mask
It was in
on,
Narnia?
high modulated voice, we never actually see a face.
That's
When was he
true.
in Narnia? Then
All
again,
right.
I
So
just
you're
don't know.
imagining the Old Republic comic version of him, basically, where he's in the background, but you get all the other main characters that are around him.
So the question is
They're
High
gonna-
Republic supposed to take the place of the Old Republic?
No,
High
it's
Republic
like
is
a
way later.
different.
Oh, it's super early. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And rumor is on the 10th they're going to announce an animated High Republic show. That's one of the
High
things. they're gonna-
Republic
Hmm.
is only 300 years
So
before.
Yoda's still around.
Yeah,
Like,
Yoda's
he's-
alive.
He's like a
High Republic
yeah.
is when? 300 years before
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
300 years before, I think.
I thought it was supposed to be thousands of years.
No
before.
way!
No,
No,
it's
it's
like
like
before Yavin.
yeah.
It shows you how much I'm paying attention on.
I wasn't very excited by the
I'm
concept, but
Time
it's,
working Star Wars, anyways.
What
mean,
if
yeah.
you did a Revan movie where Revan has died, and it's kind of like War for the Cowl?
That's already my
here's-
fan fiction. I should just write.
Now-
Mandalore? Isn't that just Mandalore, Steve?
Now, let me say this.
I-
You remember the whole
I know.
conversation we had about why I don't think the First Order, why I don't think the sequel trilogy, as well as, like, say, The Mandalorian, they don't have a lot of material to tie it back in yet. I think it'll be a tough sell,
no.
depending on who they have writing for it. I think that the Republic's going to
He
definitely,
volunteered.
it's going to take some time.
Maybe.
In my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think based on the reception that we saw, it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think
It'll be curious to see how it goes.
I think Revan is such a beloved character that it is only a matter of time before we see them.
Absolutely.
And now that he's
Well,
technically
the name
canon
is
again,
canon already.
yes.
He was like the #1 voted, like, make this a Black Series figure back when they did that. That's how he ended up, like, so.
Yeah, there's no way he's not coming back. He's not coming back in this show, though.
Not in this show. All right,
it'll be
well, I mean,
interesting to
that would have been cool.
Comes back as Mace Windu.
Canon right now,
Nathan
actually.
Fillion for Carthonasi.
Huh.
Yeah,
I can see it. I
I'll,
allow
that-
it.
yeah,
I'm
down.
still gonna
You're
be
gonna have
mad
the
about it
same
because I
argument
fucking
with
hate
him as you are gonna
Carthonasi.
have to
He's
Keanu
the
Reeves.
worst.
He was the worst. Why do we gotta put
Everyone's
him in
gonna
that
call
role?
it. Everyone's gonna
If I
call the
play-
Revan thing Firefly if they do that, though.
If I play that game, I play as a dark side female Revan these days, just to make Karth fall in love with me and break his heart.
Yes. I love it.
Was Nikki your live action embodiment of that?
I didn't break her heart. What the?
No,
What are you
That's not what
accusing of?
that is not
What
where
is
I was going with
happening,
that.
Nick?
That is not where I was going with that. Don't put words in my mouth. And also, I should have explained that better.
In your mouth.
All right. We have to go into the final predictions for next time. We've got a jailbreak Space Bill Burr Mayfield Bostonian.
Space Boston.
Even he's not happy
Space
with it.
Boston. He's always gonna be Space Boston. I fucking love it because Bill Burr spent so much time shitting on Star Wars. Like he like that was like part of his shtick. Like he just like would always talk shit on Star Wars, and now he's a part of Star Wars. So it's just really the irony is funny. Like he sold out so hard, but
He didn't sell out. He had a good. They offered him a job. He had a good time. He admitted that he had a good time.
and now he likes it. So whatever.
It's not sell out. It's not selling
It's
out.
like
when it's
all
just
the
a
people
personal
that are
opinion.
bought into Boba now after seeing this last episode. All the
Not selling
fucking
out.
people that are eating their fucking words, like my husband, who was always.
When are you getting him on the podcast? When are you getting him on the podcast?
Man, he would always shit on Boba for like forever. He's like, he only says 4 things, and one of them's like he'd always like bring that up to me, and then after watching that episode, he's like, can't say anything anymore. I'm done. I'm like,
His response is, "All right, I might as well ask what's going on with the man? Fuck, I made a mistake."
No, in fact, I kept going all week. So Josh, my husband, mistakenly asked me about the EU history of the Mandalorians, and I chased him out of the room once, and then I continued it into the next day, where the next thing I said to him was I continue on, and finally he just said, "I don't need to hear any more of this. I'm done. I'm done."
He basically subscribed to an in-person down the rabbit hole episode.
Well, the problem is that he started asking me about Django and Boba, and I'm like, and I went back to like, and I'm like, all right, so Django was found by Jaster Muriel and adopted by him, and he's like, but then that's canon. It doesn't matter.
And then you rolled out the whiteboard.
And then the
referencing.
fucking nerds translated the chain code in the armor, and it said Jaster, and I turned to him and I was like, it's fucking canon! And
Here's the thing, though.
he's like, you're
Here's the thing about
insufferable
Boba.
now.
Make a diagram and shove it under the bathroom door or something.
It's like that Jack Sparrow quote where he's like, "There's no living with her after this," right? Like
Here's
that's
some
basically
reading
what
material.
happened.
Love you.
So yeah. So anyway, yeah. So a lot of the Boba people are eating crow. Joe spent all day today going back in his Twitter feed and basically being like, "I told you so" from years ago
Joe
on all
spent
the.
the day being petty? That doesn't sound like him.
I'm just saying, all of us
Joe's chaos.
believers, all of us people who
Joe's
have loved Bovo this whole time, we feel very
Joe being
vindication.
an asshole to people on Twitter. It's not like he threatened the president or anything, according to Twitter.
not
I
today
referred to
anyway.
Someone as the president's dick remora the other day on Twitter.
But yeah, so that's what we got a lot of vindication and all this stuff this episode. So we've got potential Jedi coming. We don't know who. Maybe not even a Jedi. We don't know for sure. It could just be anybody who uses the Force that shows up. Could be a space whale. It could be the space whale that shows up. I don't know.
That's how Ezra gets there.
He's like,
rides
hey,
the
you
space whale.
summoned my ride here. What's up?
Just
You know?
a big flowing mane in the back.
This is weird for all of us.
Here I've come to save the day.
Could be the Bendu.
The Bendu, for sure. Like, I mean, who fucking knows, right? We don't know. It's wild now. We got all this shit we never thought we'd fucking see, and here it is. Like, so we know they're gonna break out Mayfield. We know he's gonna assemble the posse. We don't know who else is gonna be in the posse. We know he's gonna find the ship, in theory, and get the baby back, right? Like, he's got to. He's gotta get.
So
Every single time I hear Mayfeld, I keep thinking it's a UFC fighter.
I mean,
I think it's going to be Joris Kabouth and Luke who show up.
that's like me the other day talking about, I can't remember what his fucking name was, but the master with all the hair.
He's just got a couple
Francis or whatever.
Yeah, like
vowels in his name.
no, like
Yarrow
like there's the dude who's like in 2 seconds of a scene in one of the prequels, but like he's a Jedi master that went MIA, and he's confirmed to not be dead as of Jedi Fallen Order, I think. So it's like he's
Have you ever
Be alive.
Have you ever seen the Robot Chicken episode talking about Yarrow Poop?
I probably.
It's so funny. Look it up.
So yeah, so we've got that. We've got fucking Boba, man. Oh man, I can't believe that. And they're on Slave One.
I didn't think we were going to get Boba. I didn't think we were going to get Ahsoka. I'm just really, really happy with how they've been using their characters.
But, I mean, Ahsoka's Montrals are the wrong size, guys. So, like, it's even worth it for her to be there.
Oh my god.
So fans are gonna be fans.
Nobody cares.
Video, and they kind of like enhanced the picture on the kind of like the wrinkles and the Montrals, and they said that was signs of aging, and I was like, no, that's just how the prosthetics lie.
It also looks realistic.
There's no aging there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it looked legit. It was
I
good.
thought it looked very good.
did,
It looked like they had thickness and depth, and actually weren't just like these floppy latex or inflatables.
Like, but the thing is, what I want is not actually possible with our current level of technology, and so I accept what we have. But it just didn't move right.
Yeah,
I feel like
they're a little
they've
stiff.
like,
There was
well, the Twilight.
We don't know how stiff they're supposed to be, though.
Well, no, if you
they
look in-
moved like they were full of some sort of foam rubber is the issue.
They did?
Like, they were a little stiff. Like, you know, I don't know. I get it. My husband's like, why doesn't it look like Shock T? But like, Shock T was in the movie for like 5 seconds, and she didn't have to do crazy action
And,
sequences.
didn't do a backflip.
Right.
We also don't know if
or
that
look at the
was
deleted
CGI
scene.
or practical effects.
Right. Right. I'd rather it be practical and look
No.
really cool than be
Oh yeah,
shitty
yeah.
CGI.
Don't CG that shit, because here's the thing: CG with TV shows is great until they bite off more than they can chew, or more likely what happens is you have a few people working on it and they say, oh shit, we're running out of time. You have to prioritize things.
Yes.
CG takes time. It takes artists, and there are certain things that have to be done over other things. So you never want to just leave it to CG.
No. Especially
You
when
want to tell an editor to
they
fix it
leave
in post,
Admiral
they
Jeff
will
Blue
finally-
Jeans in the helicopter and all these different things that they've left in post-production. So let's do as much practical shit as they can right now. That makes more sense.
Well, it's going to have a mix of both because it helps to sell both of them.
Sure.
You have to have a mix.
Uh-oh, he's using the Force. Whee! He's so cute. Alright. They gotta get him back. They can't end the season without him being back with
Absolutely
Din.
not.
No, he's dead. He's going to die next episode. It's going to
That's
What if the Jedi has just taken him?
Oh, they just take him? They just abduct him?
Like
That
Jedi showed
could
up,
happen.
even there.
Oh, that would be something.
What if it's
That's
Yaddle? Like,
right.
this is my son. Like, I gave birth to him. I'm taking
Stay
him
away
back.
from my son.
They get a family court over it. Like, Din's just like, where'd
It's
you
going to turn
been?
into an episode of Mari?
Yeah, exactly. Not even just an episode of Mara. It's going to be like just whatever. I don't think they have a family court on on broadcast television, but if they have, we've definitely
No, they can't because the
followed.
minors definitely initiated.
Exactly.
That would be so sad. I don't want to watch that.
No, no one wants to see that. No.
What if Judge Judy is presiding though?
Space Judy.
Space Judge
Over
Judy.
having over. Which reminds me, I gotta remember to call that jury duty. I don't want to screw that up.
Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, they can't kill him off. There's no way. Disney, like everybody, I would boycott Disney. For now.
Oh yeah,
it would last forever, but I would have to for a little while.
And Disney would go, well, we lost one podcast with like 6 viewers. We're done.
No! Listen, they can't kill him though. He's too beloved. Everybody would hate them.
They're not
why
going
I
to kill him.
I don't think they're going to kill him. I think what they're going to do is they're going to still get their goal when it comes to the blood or whatever they're doing for the M count.
And they don't need him.
He's going to get him back, but the Empire still wins in a sense. Because
that's a really good point, and I think that might happen. That could happen for sure. I like that one. That's a good angle. It's a good angle.
And then watch, the episode is going to basically just subvert expectations, and we're going to go do it.
I mean, we've always kind of skirted the edge. We've skirted the edge. Like we've had some right things, but we've been really wrong about some things. So or like right halfway and then wrong about the execution of it. So I mean, we knew Fennec Shand was gonna be alive. We knew that was Boba. We knew.
Or I can piss Mickey off and ship Ahsoka and Din.
Nope.
No.
Not okay.
No.
Do you honestly think I believe that? I have a hard enough time believing that there's going to be a ship between Bo and Din. I love watching people say that, but no, it's not.
It's coming.
I don't know. She gave him that look, man.
Was it wearing the helmet or not wearing the helmet?
That's true.
You look like you're in love.
They just vibe.
They vibe. They do vibe.
It's like the vibro blades. Like it just starts vibrating at the same frequency, and only when they touch helmets that everything just normalizes.
But she's gonna die, and it's gonna be so sad. But it's gonna happen.
I want an epic Star Wars romance. Like I don't. Like, Anakin and Padme didn't do it for me. I never.
No, it was weird. It was creepy. She knew him when he was a kid.
Super like rapey.
Yeah, it was kind of like it's like almost like a teacher with a student, like that age gap thing. It's weird. I don't know.
Well, and also like Han and Leia, there's like kind of weird boundary pushing.
Yes, Han, not exactly a great guy.
That's a middle-aged divorced couple. Like, or what are we doing here?
Yeah, Han had big 70s male energy going, which worked for him then, but
it's not Dragon Wagon. It's the Millennium Falcon.
That wouldn't fly so much now, for sure.
What Star Lord's
No, the Millennium Falcon's a fucking that's the RV that's like the toilet maybe works.
Which we never
It's
saw.
If you brought in a black light, it would light up like a
keeps
Jack
on breaking.
At least we knew the Razor Crest had a toilet, okay? Like, we knew. Like, we never saw what the Falcon had. Who knows?
I would have loved to have watched that toilet just get shot, like, up. Like, just get launched when that ship blew up.
My poor ship.
Went up like one of those porta potty rockets.
He's gonna have to get a new ship. Do you think that's gonna happen this season? Or is he gonna, like, hitchhike in Slave 1 the whole time?
I think he's gonna bounce around. He's gonna bounce around and bum it out for a while. Because he's got nothing but the clothes on his back.
Gonna sleep on Boba's couch for a little bit.
Yeah.
and Slave 1 is deceptive.
Very small and
It
have
is very
almost no money.
That's crazy, though.
Season 3 is gonna open with like Din in his helmet, just with a stain, like a Cheeto stained white beater.
He's gonna have like a hobo pack.
And he's just like he's just sitting there watching holovids with Grogu, who's just also like kind of got a belly going, and it's just gonna be like, dude, we gotta get you, like, we gotta get you.
Yeah, Bobo's like, we're gonna need to get you a new ship.
Noob Master 69.
Oh man.
Yeah, Grogu's got a fucking he's got some stubble like growing in on his face, and, like you see some beard sticking out from the helmet.
So this is gonna be hard though.
On the table.
I mean, like the tragedy, like a lot of people, everybody's like really like focused on Grogu being kidnapped, which is of course huge. But like, I think the real tragedy is the Razor Crest is fucking gone.
Yeah.
I think Din might think that's the real tragedy after all this.
I mean, that's been his constant. Like he's always
just,
had
like-
that fucking ship to go back to, and that's the reason why he wasn't stuck in the covert with the rest of those fucking Mandos, because he had a fucking
Well, I mean,
ship.
I was gonna say, how many of you have like crashed a car that you bought and had a long time with? Like, how many of you crashed like a car you used for
My
college?
ex-husband did. He totaled my first car.
Yeah, and I
It
bet
was-
that hit hard.
And it was a Honda Civic, which makes all the jokes about the Honda Civic Razor Crest even more in my heart here.
It could, honestly, with how much you could fit in one of those econo boxes, it could be.
He's
had
gonna
a-
go back to getting bullied by Paz because he can't get away anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, so I don't know. It's gonna be crazy.
Paz is just that one big dude at the orphanage that's just like, it's like, the dude needs a hug. Dude
Been
just needs a
stealing
hug.
the cookie off your tray all day.
Yeah, he's got a big chip on his shoulder. His last name's Vizsla.
He's joking about like, he's like, your parents didn't love you. It's like, didn't you also get given up as a young child? Don't bring it up.
That
Yeah.
actually brings up something interesting because we know Clan Vizsla was with Bo
Mm-hmm.
during when she united the clans or whatever.
Vizsla's just a bunch of extremists. Like, they
There,
just can't
but
stay.
no,
like,
no, no. But that was the split Clan Vizsla. They had
No, I
a
know,
different
I know.
sigil.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
keep in mind, it's a house.
Oh,
There's a
that's
house
right.
There's
Vizsla was a
also-
house.
There's also a house Cries.
I thought they
Yeah,
were
that's
clan
what it
cries, though.
No, it's Clan Kree's House Vizsla, I'm pretty sure. Because
No,
Clan Ren is also House Vizsla.
I think I read somewhere that Cries is its own house as well, but I might.
It could be if it's that sort of like
It might have been because of
royalty
Satine.
sort of thing.
I mean, Satine was a duchess. I don't know.
Unless they were a ruling
And Ren was
clan.
only
They
a
could have been
countess.
a ruling house. They could have been. That may be how she got control.
Yeah.
She could have been the next in line, and then she's like, I'm just gonna change things up. And
I mean,
then
maybe.
the other next in line, being Bo, was like, yeah, fuck that.
Well, I mean, in old EU,
Awesome.
Jaster was the last Mandalore before all that shit.
That could be why. That could be why the Jedi were sent to protect Satine.
Speaking of, Mandalorian Civil War is a thing again.
Well, yeah.
Well,
But it
we
kind of
knew a
was
little bit of
before.
that. We
'cause
knew a
Clone
little bit about
Wars,
that when they. Yeah.
Rebels. They talked about. That's why Mandalore is like a desolate.
That's
True. I forgot about that.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
it's my bedtime. I need to crash.
No, it's cool. We should wrap. We're gonna do the last little bits now. But thank you, Nikki, for coming. We'll do it again next week.
Unless I'm playing Cyberpunk, but I guess I can.
Yes.
I'm playing WoW right
Oh, boy.
now, so I can play and talk.
I wrapped my WoW stuff up earlier. So.
It's like the best time to be
Hey,
like
guys.
throwing around theories and stuff is when you're playing games.
All right. Do we have last minute thoughts?
Mace Windu's dead. Get over it.
Boba Fett
It
was
is-
awesome.
He's so good.
100% going to be Joris Kabouth who shows up.
Who?
We'll put you down for Shaw's
He's playing that like he's putting down that bet where it's like we're all in the pool and his is like if it happens to land, it's gonna hit big. That's what
Well,
Steve's
yeah.
going for. He's going for the big money.
So
He's going for the
upset
big
in
money.
Reality.
Like that's
I
why I,
don't know.
feel
I don't
like
even know who you're talking about. For all I know, you're just making up names.
No, so he's a character from the Heir to the Empire series.
Yeah.
Hmm.
that's also why I thought maybe Mara Jade. But we'll see. I don't know. Either it's gonna be somebody who's been on the outskirts, I think, or it's gonna be a whole new character. I don't think it's gonna be Ezra. And I could be wrong, but I think Ezra's gonna tie into whatever they do with Ahsoka, so I don't think they're gonna bring it up now.
Very more likely, yes.
I think what Dave said about like that kind of misled us was to mislead us.
Oh, the Rebels
the,
epilogue thing?
Yeah, the Rebels epilogue thing. I
He's
think
trying
he's
to,
just
yeah. He's
playing
trying to troll
coy.
us. Oh, yeah. Oh, no,
Or
for
it's
sure.
been- Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
I honestly think it was kind of
Baloney!
left to be. I think it was something that was intentionally left vague for now, or it was something that he kind of left open for now and was like, I want to come back to it, but right now we can't. Especially, and again,
Maybe.
he may have been wanting to do that, and then
We'll
because
know more on the
honestly,
10th. I think we're,
Mandalorian getting picked up it seemed to have opened the door for live action TV shows are doable. Like
Right.
the technology's there. It's entirely feasible for us to do this now, and the interest is there.
if they don't
I
announce on the
really hope-
10th. What were you saying, Steve?
I really hope they're building more volumes across the other
They are.
places.
They're building
yeah,
at
big
least
time.
3. There's building one in Australia, they're building one in England, and they built that one. So they're definitely doing it. The volume's going to be fucking everywhere.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the way. That's
the
best.
future. It's the fucking
Because
future.
for production, and I'll go into the production thing a little bit, but that's because again, green screen is not a foolproof thing
No, it's terrible.
because you're having to key out stuff. You have to do a
Rotoscope.
lot of work
Oh
with
my God.
rotoscoping, and that adds to why you try to avoid using green screen. That's that adds to a show's budget.
And the
and
actors
usually
fucking
it doesn't
love
look
the
good.
volume, though, because it's immersive.
Oh, absolutely, because you know what you're looking at.
Exactly.
And because they can change the scenery in real time. That was one of the things they were saying, is that the software that they're running is Unreal.
Oh,
is
yeah,
Unreal
no,
Engine.
it's like just fucking games are
So they
playing,
can bring in
also Unreal.
assets. They can bring in assets as they're filming or move them around in real time instead of being trying to figure it out afterwards.
They also don't need to worry about editing lighting as much from what I was
Yeah.
hearing.
Exactly, because
Yeah,
the lighting is able to
that's
change
the
with the
biggest
scene.
Yeah. No, it looks good.
It
And we're
make-
going to see more of that. They're going to do, after the season wraps, the director's commentary series is coming back. So that's going to be
That's
cool.
gonna be
That's awesome. I loved that.
those. Yeah, they were cool.
Same.
So, but on
Now-
the 10th, which is Thursday, we're going to find out the slate of shows. So if there's no Rebel sequel series
Really?
planned, and
This could be
there's not specifically an Ahsoka show planned at that moment, they might pursue the Thrawn Ezra angle in this show.
I wouldn't call it a Rebel sequel. I would just call it because Rebel sequel sounds like it makes it sound like they're getting the
Yeah.
band back together.
But-
A continuation,
It's-
just like
yeah.
Rebels is a continuation of Clone Wars.
Right? It's not so much a sequel. It's more the story is going to
I wouldn't even
progress.
call Rebels. I wouldn't call Rebels a continuation of the Clone Wars though, because it's
It was
following.
different. Yeah, it's a different.
It was
point of
following
view.
different characters. It was
Spiritual
following. It was
successor.
following characters with an importance on new, different characters. The importance was no longer on Rex.
But I
and
think that's
Ahsoka.
why Rebels would be more considered a sequel, because the focus would be on Sabine and Ahsoka finding Ezra with Thrawn. So that's more of a direct follow-up versus the difference between Clone Wars
I
and
still call it a
Rebels.
sequel because it makes the sequel trilogy
It's
sound
a
good. I'm just kidding.
continuation.
I'm not
It's a
gonna- I'm not going to be that
continuation.
guy. If you like the sequel trilogy,
So, but we'll know on
Then-
Thursday.
if you're running out of it, there's nothing wrong with that.
We'll know on Thursday. Oh, this baby needs
Yes,
this
on the
thing.
rat.
Is that your? Is that your? Like,
Sebastian Stan to be Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, that would be cool. Honestly, I could have. Oh, thank you for overfollowing me. Woohoo! Yeah, I could do Sebastian Stan as Luke, because I feel like we did dirty in the sequel trilogy with Luke. Like we needed some better Luke, and maybe we can get it here.
we're not. I don't think. I don't
Even
think
if
we're
it's
going to get.
brief, it might
I
just
don't
be.
think we're gonna get
This is
better,
what will
to be honest.
happen. Dude will show up and he's be like, "All right, I'm here for the baby," and the baby's like, "Nah, I don't want to go." The end.
Yeah.
He stays
Oh
with Dave.
God! Could you imagine? If,
That would be
yeah,
it.
we'll take- Could you imagine if Luke's like, "Yeah, I'll take him," or we're all just like, "No, no, no."
Yeah, no, don't go there. You will die. You will die. Yeah, no. But I think Grogu's gonna choose to stay with Din, and we're gonna
Oh,
see
yeah.
a little Yoda ling with little Beskar. It's gonna be so cute.
I don't think we're going to see a little Beskar Yoda.
No, it's not. He's going to be his own thing.
Maybe.
It's gonna be Jedi doing his Jedi thing. It's gonna be Mando doing his Mando thing, like we saw in Rebels. You know,
Maybe he
It's
wants to
gonna
grow
be-
up and be more like his dad.
no, because again, the physicality is just not there.
It's going to be
Well,
a really light kit. So
to be
he just
fair-
looks like Yoda.
Yeah. We'll finally
Listen.
get our Jedi Mandalorians.
Listen, it'll
God
be
help us
fine. I don't care. But that's what I think might happen. Whichever Jedi shows up, and maybe they help save him, but he's not going to want to go with him.
Yeah, he's not going to want to go, or might leave for a bit and come back, like they were saying earlier.
Yeah, there could be a time where they go away, and I think that's if he pursues Jedi training, that's probably the best way for it to go. Yeah. Because then you're not diving too much, because then you're still keeping the focus on the Mandalorian,
which will be the big thing.
Or the way it could be lined up is that we do get the Jedi to take to take Grogu, and then that sets the path up for Mando to finally, return to Mandalore
without having to worry about the kid.
And it's kind of a reverse
wrapping up that bit, but the baby could still show up later, but it's less of a motivation.
Right.
He finally found a good daycare for his.
Yeah. He found daycare. Exactly.
Jedi daycare.
I mean, again, we're kind of seeing the reverse of what happened in Rebels, where Sabine goes back with her clan for the time being, and then they come back and we're like, okay, we need your help.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all right. Any last thoughts then for before we wrap for next episode?
Nope.
Prison break.
Prison break. All right.
It'll be fun.
It'll be good.
Well,
what do you think?
Fun.
Yeah.
I think the Prison Break episode, we need to bring out our shanks for that episode.
Yeah.
I'll start making one.
All the people who were like, it's unbelievable that they had little shackles for Baby Yoda already. I'm like, yo, it's the Empire. They got shackles for fucking everybody.
Papa Freak's seen prison time.
This thing back.
But also, let me tell you, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a way to shackle my. No, I don't have a way to shackle my 2-year-old, but I really wish I did. It's giving me.
I am a
ideas.
mandated
Forget your
reporter.
2-year-old. Those shackles are for you.
I probably could fit in them. That's true. That's true. All right, y'all. Then until next week, and we'll see you then. Thank you, everybody who watched us yell and scream so much about Boba Fett. Oh my God. Okay, sorry.
I can't. I have grandparents in the other room. I can't.
Later, y'all.
Bye.
Later.